Insider Jordan Schultz and others are reporting, and it is confirmed by our own Sal Capaccio, that Bills rookie corner Maxwell Haristen avoided a season-ending injury. His ACL is intact, but he did suffer an LCL sprain, No confirmation, though, from our own Sal Capaccio on what the timeline will be for Haristen's return. The Bills were off today, but we'll get back at it tomorrow from St. John Fisher University. And coverage of Bills training camp is brought to you by Fiegel Car and Joyce Shore Border Attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys, and driven by your Upstate Honda dealers for great deals on the entire Honda lineup. Visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. Some other injury news. Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely, he is going to be having surgery on a broken bone in his foot. The hope is he'll be able to return for week 1. Baltimore will be traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills for week 1. The Sabres announced today a 10-year extension on the arena naming rights with KeyBank, and then some early afternoon baseball. Blue Jays lead Baltimore 9-5 in the 7th. The Bisons trail Syracuse 7-2 in the 7th. That game, though, can be heard on our sister station, the Bet 1520. Coming up in just about an hour, Mets at Padres, while the Yankees, they are going to host the Rays just after 7 o'clock. And New York, they have made a trade ahead of tomorrow's deadline, acquiring outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody?
Monday, Tuesday, hump day is halfway. It's Mike Schopp.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And the Bulldog.
Hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on. I know you can hear me.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
On WGR
Hump day.
Sports Radio 550.
Speak for yourself.
Right. You're coasting into 7 shows in a row away on vacation, are you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I've got one foot out the door.
Yeah.
And behind that door is a sign that speaks of naming rights. By the way, I've just kicked it open, and it's very exciting. You've got to just got to wait to see it.
Good thing they.
What a moment!
Good thing they.
Here comes the moment.
Arrange that.
What a moment! Here comes the moment. Oh.
Would it be?
Just can never get it right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's possible, though, if things are so bad that, like, no matter what they do, people are going to find a way to poke them.
Some people.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself among them.
I don't.
Most of these things are terrible. Most of these performative, corporate, announcements are just meaningless to almost everyone else. If you work there, it's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you own the company or are the CEO of the company, it's probably pretty cool. Nice little ego trip. No one cares.
Yeah.
Call the building whatever you want. Really.
Right. We're just going to keep calling it the arena, probably.
All I ever call it is the arena, and just call it whatever you want. I mean, it's not like naming rights. Everybody's building is named for some business now, right? Literally almost every pro sports
there are
arena.
A few exceptions, but yes, mostly all of them. Yeah.
Like, it's not like you have to do it to win, or maybe you do, but it hasn't exactly amounted to winning. No. I don't know. It's just another. There are times when these things happen, right? These things get announced, and they can be in the form of a press release, or they can be a big production with music. How about the music in the background, too, by the way?
I have not listened to a second of it, so I don't know that there was like pageantry-esque music playing. Yeah, okay.
Like they were announcing the Hall of Fame names or something. It was sort of like that. But so these things do happen, and I'm not here to say that they shouldn't. But I don't think it's for me about that. They haven't made the playoffs in 14 years when I watch a scene like that. It's more just like, this is amateur hour. I mean, imagine thinking your constituents care at all about something like that. And, I mean, Pagula's in a hockey helmet.
That's real?
Isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Again,
you didn't think it was real? Maybe it was. Maybe it felt
the
for
only
something.
footage I've seen of it is the doctored footage of the doors opening and there being palm trees or a banner that says whatever. Just all the stuff that's memeable. Where there's a meme, there's a way. I guess that's all. So I didn't know. I did see one picture of him with a hockey helmet on, but I thought maybe someone just created that. I didn't know if that was a real. But that was
maybe I'm guilty.
No, I'm being Zach's in there nodding his head. That yes, that was real. So yeah.
What? Yeah. What? Anyway, enough. Right? Enough.
Yeah.
Can we move on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just trying to make a mention of the doors because I was just
because you got one
jokingly
foot out
saying,
hours. Right?
Yeah, I'm almost out of here for a little bit. Which I also love being here. Seriously, it's not like I'm.
Sure, I know what you mean, but it's
eager to leave.
It's nice to
enjoy the break,
get out of there, and spend some time doing some other things.
The big news, of course, is Max Haristen, and it looks like they got away with it. Avoiding a season-ending injury is what the case is here by all accounts. And I want to come at that from the same angle as yesterday when we feared the worst about Haristen and how you and I had a conversation about, like, half my life ago, I wouldn't have thought about the person at all.
Right.
You're just you're a guy in a uniform on my team, and that's it. I wouldn't have cared about his personal circumstances. I wouldn't even have necessarily thought about long-term ramifications except for what they would mean to the Bills.
Right.
And so as you get older, you look at these things differently sometimes, and what a relief for him. I mean, to do it the same way today when it's good news,
right,
is like how great for him. He had to be fearing the worst himself.
Yeah, he and his family and whoever has been like a part of his journey. Yeah, I mean, like we talked about yesterday, you think about all those people. If you're in the same sort of headspace that you and I seem to be in, and so yeah, today was a lot of relief for them. I'm not assuming how much earlier they knew than we found out, but still, like, whatever. There's relief today. Okay, our son is not going to miss his entire first season. He's got some work to do here to get back within some amount of weeks, but it's not a devastating injury at all, really. I mean, easy for me to say, but it's considering the timeline is weeks instead of a year. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, he should play the opener probably.
Right, yeah.
So, very good. Well, in terms of the big picture, we've said this a lot. They just really have no excuse this year. I recognize and am really, who wouldn't be, impressed, to put it mildly, by all the winning they've done, by what they've built. But the championship has eluded them. Even a trip to the Super Bowl has eluded them. This particular team and everything, if they get tripped up, what trips them up? Like if you're Brandon Beane and his staff sitting around a conference table, and hopefully the chairs are in the proper position and not.
If you're wired like me, they better be. Yeah.
If you're in that meeting and your job is to try to prevent anything from going wrong. Like, what do we have to worry about here? That's not, you could accuse me or us of this if you want. It's not radio guys being negative. I think it's how good teams also would think and talk. Not McDermott necessarily. He's doing his own thing, but Beane responsible for the roster.
Yeah, you gotta look at it. It's almost like forecasting the weather, but not necessarily for tomorrow. More like weeks and months out, right? Like where are there potential storm clouds, and how do we plan our trip around them? Right? I want to avoid Tornado Alley, say, right? I don't want to go somewhere where there might be a tsunami. Let's look at the road ahead, and yeah, I mean, I think that's a responsible way to run a team. I think is to try to prepare, foresee what could go wrong. right? And we all know that there's certain what happened with Haristen, but at a more important, impactful level, obviously from quarterback, that is from 1A, 1 through 10 are all that, I think, and then everything else. But you can only do so much about preventing that. I'm sure they're on top of that, sports science and managing snaps and amount of workouts and rest days, given a guy's age and injury history and all that sort of stuff. But everything about the job is avoiding the ditch. Not actually everything, but I think a part of the job is avoiding the ditch, especially if you are a team at the level that the Bills have been at. You don't have to worry as much about finding continuity on your offensive line. Again, irrespective of injury potential. You've got that set up. You've picked these players, those players, whatever. You've got a veteran-laden team that looks, ready to be as good as they've been, if not better, every year. And so how do I keep that on track? What could potentially become a problem for us? And, I think that's a part of the gig, is being ready for that, so you don't. That's why you have, I'm sure, depth charts that don't include guys on your team, right? It's why, Sal talked about this with us on Monday, I think, when we heard that there were a couple of receivers in, as the Bills were down as many as 4 guys when practice began on Monday at that position, and there were a couple of guys in town working out that, fans had heard of: Willie Snead, Justin Ross. And
Justin with a Y.
Right, thank you.
My pleasure.
You want to be ready, you want a phone call away if something goes wrong. That's only one small part of it, though. But sure, being ready for everything is part of the job.
It's really, wide receiver comes up all the time with this, but as of right now, tomorrow's the last day of July. Preseason football starts tomorrow night. Here we go. There's not a lot. There's some things you could do with the roster, but not a lot. You'll have maybe a couple of, we definitely will have a few trades before week 1 around the league for guys who are, going to be cut, or just basically their surplus on rosters. This Bills roster, I don't know what I would feel any urgency to do about it. If I lose Max Haristen, that's different. Then I have to at least consider, how badly do I need someone else? But when we talked about him yesterday, kind of with the idea that he might not be here this year, we had the conversation, and Sal also, they have depth.
Yeah.
If they had lost him, they wouldn't necessarily have brought in a corner because of the way they drafted this year, and Cam Lewis and other guys that might mix in.
Yeah, they might have brought in a body to get through camp, but we talked about Rasul Douglas and Stephon Gilmore, for instance, and at least as far as Douglas goes, I would just as soon trust, if I wasn't going to have Harrison, which of course now we know that we should, in a matter of weeks, get him back before, certainly before the opener at least. I don't know that I would need to plop Rasul Douglas into a mix that has the guys it already has and includes the rookie draft picks. But, I don't know if they feel like they need another body. It's only one guy here, and they haven't had any other injuries at the position to this point, knock on wood. But, yeah, I feel like they're in pretty good shape at corner. All the Haristen thing did, and that is obviously largely diminished now, is that it took away just for me, Tre'Davious White, well, this is cool. He's sort of winning the competition. What a nice story. When I thought Harrison could be out for the year, that kind of became, boy, he better be good. I hope he can stay healthy. We kind of need you now, as opposed to, what a nice story. Now it's back more to being kind of a nice story because Harrison will be back sooner rather than later, and hopefully the amount of time he misses isn't too impactful for him to get back up to speed and play some role, relatively early this season even.
So depth, you're not trading for, I think, a starter at this date. Although Bill Barnwell today, it's a fun idea, as usual from him. Team by team, it's just recently out. Team by team, how many players on each team are worth a first-round pick or more. Kind of a fun exercise. So, like, TJ Watt, he got his contract, but before that, Hendrickson's even in. Yep. Somebody like that, I could see it. But I don't think the Bills, I think trades like that, while might be called for and might be possible, might be realistic, apart from the urgency the other team feels to make the move, like Hendrickson, especially before he walked in, McLaurin before he walked in, he's holding in, but it was more stark like a week ago in those cases. You might want those players and think that's worth doing, but it might not be time to do it right now. Like, unless the other team feels urgency to move those players right now, then you have to act, and maybe you get left out. I think ideally for the Bills, you do what you did last year, and last year ended up on Amari Cooper. You wade into the season. I mean, it's with the odds on them to win the AFC East and be, a contender, you can afford that. You might not. Miami, there are maybe better examples, can't look at the grid that way. Like they have to win games. Like they can't afford to. We'll be 8-3, whatever we'll be, and then we'll see what's out there for us. And the market last year, you had a couple of other trades, and
right, a team like that should feel pressure to make up ground. And that maybe even though they traded good players, I'm assuming they feel like they made their team better by trading away Ramsey, maybe addition by subtraction, if nothing else.
I don't know.
If he's one of the guys that was kind of a problem in the room or whatever. But, Minkah Fitzpatrick's a good player, and I'm assuming they made that deal. I know we wondered at the time, right? Like, what are they doing exactly? Like, is Miami trying to get better, or are they backing up, or what's happening there? I'm assuming they're making moves trying to be as good as they can be right now. I think there should be urgency there with how long their front office has been intact, and the coach, it's part of the reason I don't like them this year. I think that they're going to fall short, and there could be a house cleaning there, but I think organizationally they're trying to close the gap that is perceived, and maybe they even agree with it, the standings tell you that there is. The odds tell you that there is between they and the Bills. So, yeah, they're playing a different game this summer, I think, than a team like Buffalo is.
Yeah, most teams are, right? Like most teams would not have the luxury of, as I put it, wading into the season, which I think the Bills do. So they might want to make a trade down the road, but they might want to see what they've got first. Let's play half the hand and then see, like, where are we short? That's what you'd want to do. But apart from a bigger kind of move, what should they be doing right now? I mean, of course they're going to be, what does Sal say? Like, they have somebody on staff who's responsible for being a GM for every other team in the league. Right. A few people have, like, maybe multiple teams, but what's going on with the Bears, and somebody on the Bills staff will know. And here's somebody that might not make the roster that we would like, whatever that is. Like, you're doing all of that.
Yeah, that might be better than someone we've got in a similar depth position right now. I doubt anything like that rises to the level of a starter caliber player for this team right now. But sure, yeah, could this guy be in a numbers crunch, and what's his contract? Could he be in trouble? Is that someone we can pluck away for a small asset and divest ourselves of, whatever role player, depth player we have in that spot right now? Does that make us better if that's all part of what we talked about initially here already? Like, just sort of preparing for what could befall you as you get up and running and going into your season. So be ready. And yeah, that can start now, like summertime, as soon as cuts are getting ready to be made. There could be guys that they are maybe expecting or thinking certainly it's possible that they get cut, that they may want to act on.
But for all this talking, really, I'm just saying I don't know what I would think that I need if I'm the Bills.
Yeah.
And the wide receiver stuff has been long played out. Right now, they would probably not be looking for somebody at this point, I would think.
I would definitely agree with that. I think, like you just said a minute ago, get into your season and see, but before the deadline gets here, you've got, 6 games, 7, 8 games, however many it is. You've got some games to decide, okay, how is Josh Palmer impacting our offense? What has Keon Coleman done? Has he elevated somewhat, right? What is Dalton Kincaid doing? Like the key pass catchers that I think are being counted on to come through, right? Is Shakir still Shakir? I don't think there's any reason to doubt that, but still, you'd want to be paying attention to all of that. And if you get like some degree of thumbs up across the board on that, then, the urgency doesn't exist. But if there's some question about steps being taken by any of these guys once you get into the games, then, that's when you consider shopping.
You got to love Barnwell. He does go as far as to put trade value on Allen. You want to guess it? It's only draft picks.
Okay. Is there a limit on how many number 1 draft picks a team can trade that I don't know about? It's got.
I'm assuming there. I think there is, but for these purposes, there isn't.
Okay. I'm going to say it's 5 first-round picks.
5 is right.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, he says 6, 7. They're not trading him.
Right. Right.
2 other players, he writes, would be worth a first, that you should have to give up a first to get them. And he does, smartly account for contracts. So, for example, one wouldn't be Benford, because Benford just got a big deal.
He did, but I think it's barely top 20 in the league. So, but I hear you. Okay, it's not a rookie deal. Yeah,
right. What he writes is he's really not a significant bargain. Same with Shakir.
Okay,
both similar, not huge, the biggest money, but good to great, and not bargains anymore. But he says he points out 2 other players on the team that could be worth a first.
How is Osiris Torrance for this?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't think of him.
Yeah.
Maybe this is too hard. I don't know if I would have guessed it.
It's a guard. I mean, I don't know. That would be. But
right. Well, one is Spencer Brown.
Okay, so a lineman,
big move,
and he's got a big,
last year.
He's got a big contract already. Like again, sort of like Shakir and
Benford.
Benford, thank you.
But he says
that blocked out for some reason.
If he continues his existing level of play, the extension will age very well.
Yeah,
Brown.
Right.
And the other is Rousseau, and that makes sense because he's been pretty productive. And when you were fixating on Myles Garrett, like, do they want Rousseau? What's Rousseau really worth? Am I going to want to pay him?
Right.
That kind of deal. No, if I can get this better guy, I'd rather do that, even though it's more expensive. So the other is Rousseau on his column. It's free column at ESPN.com. 803-0550 for us. Haristen, good news. What will trip them up, if anything does? The roster. You had a taste of it yesterday into today with Haristen. A bad injury to an important guy. I mean, there's always, that can trip up anybody. With Sal yesterday, I brought up red zone targets, like who Allen will want to lean on goal to go sort of passing plays. That's an interesting one. I wanted to know what you would say to that. Like who needs to be the man for touchdowns in the passing game, or do they again this year, like last year, not need anybody to do it because he'll just walk in and destroy you on the way. So we've got that to talk about, and I was also having some fun with pondering and projecting Josh Allen's, like the rest of his career statistically. So I'll let you know what I have on that here as we continue. Lines open for your calls. Lots to talk about. The Bills are off today. Preseason opener for them is a week from Saturday. The Hall of Fame game, Chargers-Lions, is tomorrow night. Picks. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. We're going to pick this game.
Oh, my.
I'll just pick it myself before we leave, so you have it. As last year's winner, I'll go first, and then you can either we'll just push the game, or we can have some real fun.
Did you win by a lot? I don't even remember how that ended up.
I don't think it was a lot.
Yeah,
we went to the playoffs.
Okay.
Went into the playoffs.
All
Right?
Yeah, I don't remember who won, honestly. I'm not disputing that you won. I just don't remember myself, like how close it was, competitive it was, anything. So.
Yeah, by the time we got into the second round or the third round, you were talking about, do I
just pick opposite you every game?
I think that's what happened.
That kind of thing.
I'm embarrassed if that's wrong. That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
Lines open. We'll be right back. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Strong. He can come in out of his breaks. He's very elusive. He can change directions, makes the DBs think that he's going one way, comes out the other way. He's very exciting to watch just because of the plays that he can make. It's just seeing him do it on a consistent level. And so far, since I've been here, he's been pretty consistent. I mean, I know it's year 2 for him, so I'm still getting to learn him as a person mainly. I can see what he does as a player, so just trying to get to know him as a person and see how I can help in any way that I can, really. I know I've been in the league a lot longer, so not a lot longer, but like a few years. These young guys coming out, you just try to help them in any way that you can.
Joshua Palmer talking about Bulldog. Signed a tryout contract with the Bills. He's been in the league longer than Bulldog. That's accurate. Wants to just help any way he can.
I appreciate that help.
It's actually Coleman he's talking about. Oh. Sorry, everyone, taking you down that path. Late July, preseason tomorrow night, camp, everything, all of it, futures, bets. You got Sam on Friday. I won't be here, but I've been watching his show again of late, Sam and Joe. Bet Sweats, watched this morning. Did some football futures they did today. So we're there. NFL. Fantasy, right? Got to mention fantasy. Oh, something happened.
What's that now?
Something happened. I'll just say how I feel about this.
Something happened.
Never, ever agree to a trade and then renege.
All right.
Even if you thought about it and you weren't thrilled about it, you still have to do it.
Well, once you agree, yeah.
Once you agree, you still have to do it.
You can't. There's no follow-up email. Hey, I shouldn't have hit send already. I'm having second thoughts. No.
That's how I feel.
Too bad.
Too bad.
That should be binding. You sent word that you agree, then you agree, and then that's it. I'm turning my phone off.
100%. Keep your dignity.
Yeah.
You know what? Because now you're the guy that did that.
Nobody likes the guy that does something like that.
No.
I mean, even if
it's
one of your best friends that you've had a great relationship with, that would damage the friendship, I think. Like, you would think less. I would think less of
me,
a person. Yeah. In this case, sure. I would. I mean, I don't think it would harm us irreparably or something, but I would, I can't believe he did that.
I have a close friend that I feel that way about. Trading with him is really, annoying.
Uh-huh.
Because you know this person.
Yes, I do. I know exactly who you're talking about.
He will say, yes. Would you do this? Yes. I will say yes. And then he'll be like, all right, I'll get back to you.
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
You said this was an offer. I mean, sometimes that can be vague, but once it isn't, this was an offer. If I say yes to it, we're doing it. Nobody wants to go first. Right. Nobody wants to send the offer because everybody's always afraid that their offer is too cheap. And if I send you a trade offer and you just take it, what's my reaction going to be? I could have gotten more.
I got robbed. Yeah,
I could have gotten more.
Yeah.
So what almost every fantasy player does is they announce in the chat or on Discord or whatever, some thread.
Yeah, hey, I'm thinking about maybe doing this. What do you guys think?
Chuba Hubbard is on the block.
Yeah. And
I go, well, why wasn't he? Why aren't all your players available? I don't care if you want to. I could go all day. You know it. I mean, I could have a podcast on this stuff, which I do.
Yeah, I think you already do that. Yeah, actually.
The guy. The guy's move is he asks me the same way every time, would you consider trading Malik Neighbors? Right? Somebody like that.
Yeah.
Would you consider, I'll just get a text. Would you consider trading Malik Neighbors? What's my answer? Sure.
Yeah, what are you prepared to offer me for Malik Neighbors?
I would consider trading Malik Neighbors. What do you want? I want Malik Neighbors. But if you want to try to trade for Malik Neighbors, do it.
Build a trade, send it to me, and I'll tell you whether I like that or not.
That's right.
That's enough.
That's it. That's it.
You've got a deal.
I'm not going to go shopping Malik Neighbors. What sense does that make? But I also don't want to just say no.
Right.
Because there would be an offer conceivably that would be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So would you consider trading Malik Neighbors? Yes. Back to you. But Once you say, this one I think is more obvious. Like once you say you would do a deal, then you need to do the deal.
Yeah, especially if you initiated the whole thing to begin with. Like in this scenario, right? Would you take such and such from my team for this guy from your team? And I guess I don't know how much lifting is Wood doing there, right? Because it's not like maybe this person feels like that's not an official offer because I'm merely asking you, would you do this?
Versus will you?
Will you?
Oh,
right. I have a trade offer for you. Is like a declaration, like I'm ready to do this now. Would is a little more vague, I think. I still don't like it, but I think maybe I'm guessing this person feels like I'm feeling you out by asking, would you do this? I still don't. I think it's kind of crappy.
Yeah, that can get a little bit murky.
Yeah.
But you said yes.
Right.
It's not worth it. Now you're the guy that reneged on the trade.
Yeah,
and
that's
I don't want to
other
trade with
thing.
you again?
Yeah, I can find some wiggle room there. No.
No.
You tell me yes, that's it. We're done.
That's it.
There's no walking that back.
What can happen, where there would be also wiggle room, is if a trade offer is sent mistakenly, like there's something wrong, something you didn't mean to include, or you just misdid it somehow. And that has happened to me where I woke up, I've told this story before, Mike Dempsey's league. I woke up one morning, some apps are more confusing to me at least than others. And so it said, this player for a first-round pick. I'm like, oh, I'd love a first-round pick. I'm in. Just snap call. But it turned out I was the one sending the first-round pick.
Right. It was the reverse of what you
have too many teams to know, like, who's on every one of these teams. So I just didn't think about, is this guy actually someone that I have? It wasn't. So I traded a 1 for, some
And even with that,
Joe.
there was no backing out of it.
I chose to not make that request.
Try to back up. Right.
That's right. Because that's embarrassing.
Right.
I live with it. I did it.
Right.
And I told Mike, and Mike even said, oh, you should have just asked me to undo it. Like, I would never.
Right. Well, that's admirable about you, I think.
I'm not proud of everything about myself, but this one is one that this is an area where I think I got it.
There's got to be a code. People have to have a code. Whether there are laws or not, code.
You could do it the Sneaky Joe way.
What's the Sneaky Joe way?
Well, it can be sneaky, but I like this about Joe. He'll just send you the offer. He sent me an offer 2 days ago. It was awful, and I immediately rejected it. But, I respect that he was willing to put a price on his guy. Like, here, right. I would give you this. You never know who somebody else likes or doesn't like.
There was no feeling out. It was just, here's this.
Yeah,
no wood.
He's having fun with it.
Right.
It took me -8 seconds to reject the trade.
Right.
I actually pulled my hamstring sprinting for the button across the room because I take pride in how fast I can turn down an awful trade offer. Here's Kurt with us. Hi, Kurt.
Hey, guys. Love the show. I'm pulling back from a trade. That happened in my league, except the guy who pulled back was the commissioner of the league. So he used his commissioner powers to cancel the trade and then was, trying to talk his way out of it. It caused all sorts of mayhem in the league.
Yeah, I think this commissioner needs to be impeached, and you need to quit this league. That's what my advice would be. That might be an overreaction. This might be, I don't know, it could be your dad you're talking about. I don't know. But so, my apologies if I'm overstepping, but I would quit.
Probably your friend.
Yeah, friends from high school, so it's hard. But now we just have this ridiculous oligarchy of commissioners, and hopefully not something like this happens again.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Don't like it at all.
I tend to be the type to have too many rules so that loopholes aren't found, things like that. But there was one league, I'm a sure thing, right? So I almost always say yes. And there was one league with a very fun, interesting format, and I really got into it. I spent time trying to figure out on my own, all right, what are player values going to be like in this league? Because this is unusual. It was cool. And so I, was planning on joining. I might have even this is kind of back to the other thing. I might have even agreed to do it. And then I was in a conversation. I didn't know the guy very well, but I was like excited. And I was in a conversation with him in person one night after work. And he started talking about trading guys for food.
Huh?
That he would like give you free pizza for that he might have done something like that before. That, hey, if you wanted a pizza or something, sure, we could work. I'm like, I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. There can't be under the table.
Yeah, no, I'm not here for I'm not here for bartering other, commerce.
That can never be.
That is not okay.
Never, ever, ever.
No, right.
It's like I'm trying to get a job with a contractor or something, and through a politician. Just take this. Bribes. No, all that's bad.
Yeah,
Bulldog.
That doesn't sound right at all.
I'm maybe naive, but all that should be obviously banned. Hall of Fame game tomorrow night, Chargers and Lions, Trey Lance. I think the whole first half for LA.
Why not the whole game? Do they have another guy that I'm
sure they do.
Was the third overall pick in a draft that needs reps? I mean, why not just play him?
I'm sure they do. We just did this the other day.
All the
backup quarterbacks.
Right.
He would be their third. Taylor Heineke.
Okay. Yep.
So probably if he's healthy, I don't know who's healthy or who's not in this case. But if he's healthy, maybe it's Trey Lance and Taylor Heineke tomorrow night versus, if not, Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker, and Kyle Allen. Wasn't he here?
Yes. I think.
For a year?
I got to tell you, as far as preseason, even the Hall of Fame game football goes, Trey Lance, Hendon Hooker, I'm gonna want this game every year comes and it's the same every year. And then the Bills' first preseason game is similar. It's like, all right, football. 8 minutes into the first quarter, what else is on? My God, this is intolerable. Hendon Hooker, Trey Lance is going to keep my attention, I predict.
Let's find out.
I liked Hendon Hooker coming out. There was a point where I thought, like, if Goff doesn't work, by the time they drafted Hooker, I think Goff was already demonstrating that he was going to work out for them. But I liked Hooker. I wasn't quite as high on him as, say, I was Jalen Milroe this last draft cycle, but I liked Hendon Hooker. And he and Trey Lance playing NFL football from Canton, Ohio tomorrow that's going to keep my attention.
Last year's Hall of Fame game, Bears 21, Texans 17, no Caleb Williams, no C.J. Stroud in that one. Yeah. It was Davis Mills versus Tyson Bagent. So this is better than that. You're right.
This is way better than that.
You have a good feeling about the quarterbacks here, and I get it. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog at 803-0550. None of this segment was anything about what we talked about before. It ended up being about trades and Trey Lance. But, hey, that happens sometimes. Hope you were able to hang with us there.
Yeah, it's okay. It allowed me to keep my attention on this Red Sox-Twins game where the Twins have obviously gone to a position player to pitch the ninth inning, and the Red Sox hit back-to-back home runs off them. So it was 9-1, now it's 13-1, and, it's getaway day, and, holy cow already. Boston, the umpire's going to be like, will you stop hitting the ball? Can we just all go home now, please?
So this Clemens, you're saying, is not Roger Clemens or his son?
I'm only asserting that because of the form he's displaying throwing this ball to the home plate. It does not look like he's a pitcher.
Nice little tight strike there at 64.
Right.
On the black. I think it's their first baseman. I'll look it up. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. This is WGR.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day, I'm right. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over. It's about time. Oh, sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. Roller coaster. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster.
wins a pair of grandstand tickets to the upcoming NASCAR Cup Series weekend, Friday, August 8th through Sunday the 10th at Watkins Glen International. The Go Bowling at the Glen event brings the drivers of the NASCAR Cup Series together to battle it out around the historic New York road course. Tickets for the entire NASCAR weekend are on sale at theglen.com. Ha ha ha! That was Roger Clemens' son pitching for the Twins. I saw that from Lucy Burge. So Bulldog just said how the Twins put a position player in garbage time here. Not a baseball term exactly, but down big to Boston, and the Red Sox hit a couple homers off him. And I'm like, oh, Clemens. So it wouldn't be Roger Clemens or like his son. And it is his son, Cody Clemens. Did I even say Cody before? I think I did.
I don't remember. I missed the son part of that. I heard you say Clemens, and I just sort of yeah, that's Roger Clemens. Ha ha ha. I didn't even think about it.
I was just kidding.
Yeah, but it was his kid got knocked around there a little bit.
This is, by Baseball Reference, this is his 13th pitching appearance of his career for 3 different teams. Detroit, I've not followed his career at all. Philadelphia, and now Minnesota. So, 64. Wouldn't you like Cody Clemens to have better stuff?
I mean, he's not a pitcher, though. I guess no. I wouldn't expect him to have better stuff because he's a second baseman.
But he's probably, as Roger Clemens' son especially, somebody who pitched, coming up. He was University of Texas, just like his dad.
Does Clemens have all his kids have K names?
I think so.
I think that, okay. This is Cody with a K, I assume then, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I think there's all the kids are Ks, I'm pretty sure. There. I'm not sure how many there are, but I feel like that was one of those guys that did that.
I told you this yesterday. I'm reading one of Joe Posnanski's books. This one it's not the Baseball 100. I'm going to get it. It's Why We Love Baseball, a history in 50 moments. And, or it was the other book. I'm sorry. One of the 2 books, I'm reading them both. And there's a section on Ohtani. And he writes, so there's never been an Ohtani, but could there have been an Ohtani? Somebody that was a great hitter, but also could have been a great pitcher had he been given the chance.
Right. We talked about this off the air yesterday,
right.
I think, when I first got here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or vice versa. And Posnanski writes, I went to the one person who would know, Dave Winfield. Like, all right, this is going to be great. So Winfield was, multi-sport superhero.
Drafted in a bunch of different sports leagues, right.
NBA, ABA, NFL, and baseball. And he was at Minnesota. Do I remember the story the same way as yesterday, that in the College World Series for Minnesota, he was pitching like maybe a one-hit shutout into the 9th.
Up 7-0.
Up 7-0 against USC and lost. And it maybe was still the greatest comeback in the history of the College World Series, something like that. So he interviews Winfield about whether he thinks he could have done it. And Winfield ultimately says, look, I don't lose sleep over this. Like, I don't have regrets, but I would like to know if I could have done it, if I could have dominated as a pitcher, because he always had.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Except for that one inning.
Right. That really got away from him.
But he did not get. He said, this is so cool. There's so many great stories in this book. I just wish I could tell you for sure which one of the 2 books it is. But he said he had a different top priority. His top priority was not to, go both ways. Again, really not a baseball term. His top priority was to never have to play in the minors. So he was drafted by the Padres, and he went right to the show, and he was successful. He never played in the minor leagues, which was rare. But he said that was what he wanted. Mm-hmm. And, he wasn't looking to try to pitch.
Pitch and hit. He just really wanted to avoid riding the buses.
Yeah. Both the Posnanski books I'm referencing are really interesting, I think. Aaron Schatz will join us next. He's interesting as well. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Our own Sal Capaccio can confirm that Bills rookie corner Maxwell Haristen did avoid a season-ending injury. His ACL is intact, but he did suffer an LCL sprain. No confirmation on what the timeline will look like for Haristen's return. We will hear from Sal in about a half hour at 4:30. The Bills, though, were off today. They'll get back at it tomorrow from St. John Fisher University. And coverage of Bills training camp is brought to you by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys, and driven by your Upstate Honda dealers. For great deals on the entire Honda lineup, visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. The Sabres announced a 10-year extension of arena naming rights with KeyBank, and then we also had some early afternoon baseball. The Blue Jays take down Baltimore 9-8, while the Bisons fell to Syracuse 8-3. Going to get underway here in just a few minutes. The Mets at the Padres, while the Yankees, they're going to host the Rays just after 7 o'clock. And the Yankees, they also made a trade ahead of tomorrow's deadline, acquiring outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp
We were having a very serious conversation about mayonnaise here.
and the Bulldog
And don't even talk to me about weed.
on WGR Sports Radio 550.
Zay Flowers not on the field for Baltimore's practice today, reportedly. Ravens lost Isaiah Likely, at least for a while, with what sounds like a broken foot. Don't know anything more on Flowers, except that he did not practice today, was not on the field. Baltimore here, week 1. Still a ways off. Still kind of a ways off.
Worth monitoring, though.
It's worth monitoring. It's still also July, and that game is in September. Aaron Schatz is with us. Aaron, does it feel close? Are you somebody that gets excited for the return of football vis-a-vis the Hall of Fame game tomorrow?
Training camp, I'm excited for. Hall of Fame game, not really. I'm not really a preseason guy, and this is like the most useless of all the preseason games, so not that exciting.
Okay. So best to pace ourselves, right?
Good for you not taking the bait, because I said earlier, and I've said this for years, like the Hall of Fame game and then the Bills' first preseason game are very much the same to me. Sit down, all right, football, and like 8 minutes later, just what am I doing with my life? Like why am I here? It's nice out. There's a sunset. What am I doing? Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's exciting to have training camps back. It's exciting to just get reports from training camp. I mean, you don't want to hear silly things like training camp stats, but just to know that these are practicing. Talking about depth charts, it's good.
Aaron, it used to be different with training camp because of social media and all the mass amount of coverage. It used to be that, like, maybe you'd get word of an injury, but it was not as sudden. The swings weren't as wild. Like, I do a fantasy podcast called ADP Chasing, and yesterday in the course of it, there were like 5 injuries, and 3 or 4 of them, the player's back. Luther Burden wasn't an injury, but I mean Worthy and Neighbors and these different guys. Which was a better existence, back when we were just kind of in the dark for a while, or now where it can be just like a lot?
This is fun now, but you have to remember that in training camp, it's much easier to bring the card out than it is during a game. So the card comes out for everything. So if you hear that the card came out for a player, it doesn't mean it was a major injury because it's training camp.
Right on.
And there are carts parked all over the place at these complexes.
So many carts.
Right. You find something to do with the carts. Let's get some use out of the carts. Go get that guy.
Justin Fields won the honors of being first carted off. He's already back.
Right.
So, I mean, that wasn't even the same practice, but still, like, you can get a little
Someone stepped on his
paranoid.
ankle. Right, stepped on his ankle. Whatever. Aaron's
FTN Football Almanac for 2025 is out. I saw from a tweet of yours just a few little nuggets that you put in a tweet earlier today. One, the Bills play less base defense than any other team. When I wrote that in my notes, I left out the word base. I just wrote the Bills play less defense than any other team. That's not quite it. How interesting is this?
Yeah, some of it is, game status because they're winning and the other team is passing, so they play nickel. But McDermott's been this way since he was in Carolina. He just doesn't play base. He plays nickel all the time. And it's interesting because it changes how you look at the personnel, right? The nickel cornerback becomes even more important, and the third linebacker becomes not less important. Basically just as depth.
Right.
So it does change the way you look at the roster.
Yeah, I wonder if that is. We've been pondering here, Aaron, whether that is going to change at all. Whether McDermott, because it has felt for many years now, and I'll bet we've talked about this, the three of us in the past, that he's among the defensive coaches who are inviting you to run. Go ahead and run. You want to run? Run. I'm gonna line up, so I'm begging you to run because I'd rather you do that than what I want to do is take away your pass game and especially your explosive passing game. But the way the Bills have handled this offseason, it feels a little bit like they're trying to shore up that run defense. And I wonder if, say, a Dorian Williams, who is basically that linebacker you just described, who's he's the next guy, but he is not on the field as a third linebacker very often, if at all. I wonder if they might start mixing that in a little bit. I think that might be something to keep an eye on this year.
Maybe. I still feel like McDermott has done this for so long that it's almost like he'd be more. I more would expect three safeties to be the switch than the three linebackers to be the switch.
It's worked for him. They have been consistently good. There are a lot of changes on that defense this year, and as far as nickel corner, Taron Johnson affords him, this luxury, if you will, having been as excellent as he has. What are your particular projections for the Bills this year defensively? It will look a little different, personnel-wise.
We like the defense. We have them projected in our top 10. There's no way they're going to have as many turnovers as they did last year, right? Turnovers regressed to the mean very heavily. The Bills' defense was very dependent on turnovers last year. But we still think it's a good defense. We think, the luck will not be quite there, but the talent is a little bit improved, and so that evens it out a little bit. And I don't think this is going to be a bad defense. I think it should be a good one.
32 takeaways last year, regular season, third in the league, to 8 turnovers, first in the league. So this one works in both directions, maybe.
Yeah, given Allen's history, you would expect a couple of more interceptions, but I think fewer turnovers for the defense is much more likely than more turnovers for the offense.
Aaron Schatz with us. The Almanac is out. FTN Football Almanac from Aaron for 2025. We've talked to each other. We've known each other for many years. Long enough so that when we would have, even weekly for a while there during the season with you, Aaron, we would often hear you say, man, for the fans up there, I just hope someday they get good. It goes back far enough where you'd been on for enough years during the Bills' playoff drought. I'd like to see it happen someday. And now, look at it.
Are they annoying yet?
It's been 8 years of McDermott, and they've been in the playoffs 7 times. The betting markets like the Bills as much as anybody this year. Do you concur?
Yes, we like the Bills. They have our highest win projection. We do end up with the Ravens slightly ahead of them in the DVOA projections, the ratings. And we do have the Ravens with a slightly higher Super Bowl chance based on that. But the Bills are more likely to have the home field advantage. That Week 1 game is super duper important, obviously, for home field advantage. But we're in this weird place. We're in this weird place where the 4 best quarterbacks in the league are all in the same conference, and only one of them can go to the Super Bowl every year. And it just so happens, I ran this table in the book. The best team over 5 years in the regular season since 1978 to not make a Super Bowl is the last 5 years of the Bills. And the second best team is the last 5 years of the Ravens.
How about that? I don't know if you...
It's a compliment, but it's also... right? Should we take that as, well, that's great, but in all caps?
My feeling has always been that players and teams that, quote-unquote, can't get it done in the playoffs only can't get it done until the year that they do get it done. There are plenty, Peyton Manning being a good example. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of guys who they have the year where it all comes together. A really good example from football is the LA Rams. The LA Rams were something like 66-19 from 1973 to 1978. Never made the Super Bowl. And then they finally made it in 1979. The problem that the AFC has is, let's say somebody gets past Mahomes, it still has to be either Jackson or Allen or someone else. It certainly can't be both of them because only one can do it.
We've had this conversation about the Manning Colts. I can hear you saying it like it wasn't their best team that won. And the Rams, what a great example of that they are. In 79, they were 9-7. Malavasi, like that team wasn't as good. Maybe they were better than their record, but the teams that you cited before that under Knox mostly were like they had great records.
Yes, it's absolutely true. The team that makes it in the playoffs and finally wins it all is not necessarily the best team that you have. Certainly, I don't know about the Bills because I think this year they look about as good as last year, but the Ravens have been so good the last 2 years in the regular season that it's almost impossible to imagine they'll be that good in the regular season again. So if they happen to be the team that gets past the Chiefs and makes it, it will absolutely not be their best year.
Well, of course, I want to say accept that these points, that I look at it the same way, that there's nothing that says the Bills can't do it. Do you know the losses in the playoffs well enough to be able to sort of put drop a line or two on like why it hasn't turned out differently? Of course, beyond the obvious about how great Mahomes and Kansas City have been also. But the one thing that I always go to is, Aaron, in the 4 now playoff losses to Kansas City, they've been totally unable to stop Mahomes. They've no interceptions. They've just had, for a team last year, the Chiefs, that had a really rough season offensively, they had an easy time in that game. That's where I would turn.
Yeah, I will fully admit to being terrible at remembering details of games unless I prep ahead of time, but I think you're right. I mean, this is the big difference between the Bills and the Ravens, is that with the Ravens, you can have this discussion of Lamar Jackson, why does he not live up to his regular season performance in the playoffs? You can't have that discussion with Josh Allen. It's much more about the defense and whether they can stop Mahomes. It's not like Allen has had a bunch of bad games in the playoffs.
Right, but that said, here I will get some details for you because, and I don't know where this will end us up here, but this has been the talk for really 2 off seasons. Is that McDermott, and it all traces back to 13 seconds, not surprisingly, Aaron, like that. He's wearing that like a scarlet letter. We said it on the post-game show immediately after that game. Until they win the Super Bowl, this is going to be a moment we are talking about for years, and well, here we are. We're still talking about it, but I think in part because of that, that's to say it makes any complaining or criticizing his defense unfair, but the last 2 times they've lost to the Chiefs, they've had the ball with a chance to score a touchdown and take the lead around the 2-minute warning and haven't come through. Yeah. And in both of those situations, I would say I would take that. Like going into the game, I've got Allen with the ball around midfield or even in your territory around the 2-minute warning, needing a touchdown to beat you. I would sign for that before the game begins. And they have not come through. So, yes, the offense has, and Allen has performed fantastically, but in the end, I'm not sure that blaming the defense for all of the failure is entirely fair either.
The other thing I hear from Bills fans a lot is complaints about McDermott not being aggressive enough, which is strange to me because in the regular season, at least, he's one of the more aggressive coaches in the league on 4th down. So I think he just needs to make sure that that he doesn't lose his spine in the playoffs, that he keeps with the aggression that he shows during the regular season.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it might be more his image than anything else. You know, he comes off as conservative, and maybe he started as conservative and established that. But I'm always watching that closely, and I agree. It's not so much fair to label him that way. With Aaron Schatz, so I mean this all as a question. I'm thinking about it feels like, okay, in the NFL, we've moved toward the running game. It's sort of bounced back the other way like it does in this sport many times over the years. To what extent is that sort of an overstatement, maybe, what we saw last year in terms of these trends? And do you think whatever it was will continue?
Yeah, it was a little bit, and it was 1 year. I wouldn't overstate the power of the 1 year quite yet. The passing game is still far more important than the running game, and pass defense is still far more important than run defense, and we're still not playing in the 1970s. You definitely saw last year, what you saw is the value of a good running back with a good offensive line. Okay, when a good running back is not playing with a good offensive line, they have a lot less value, that it's sort of a force multiplier. We'll have to see what happens. The offensive line with the Raiders is okay, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with Aston Janty this year, right? Because he's considered a running back of that level, and he's considered that he breaks so many tackles that he sort of surpasses the problems of his line. But we'll have to see.
Right. You mentioned Genty. What do you think of the Raiders? And if not the Raiders, who are a couple of interesting dark horses to you?
I kind of like the Raiders to be better than people are expecting, but I think that they are a team with a very small range of possibilities, right? When you have a young quarterback, you have a very wide range of possibilities because your quarterback could be much better than expected or could be much worse. When you are a veteran team with a veteran coach and a veteran quarterback that's going to depend on the run game rather than the passing game, it just feels like the Raiders are they're going to win 6 to 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're not going 3-14, and they're also not going to go 11-6. They're just kind of mediocre. So that's what I think of the Raiders. That's still better than conventional wisdom.
Yeah, no, that's logical. That's logical. I could see the Raiders, maybe it's a little bit above your range, but with Seattle, Geno Smith, what a cool story. This guy, he's actually good. Look at these clips and look at the accuracy. They get to the playoffs and, no. Can you see the Raiders getting the 7? Maybe. Can you see them winning here in that game?
No.
That's tougher.
Right.
Yeah, well, y'all don't do the weird stuff Baltimore does. Baltimore loses 1 or 2 of those every year. Buffalo doesn't.
Yeah.
Those weird losses.
Is there a team in the? It's really the Chargers or the Broncos are the only 2 that are left. Are either of those teams ready to challenge Kansas City, or do you think Kansas City is just sort of steady as she goes or spectacular as she goes, maybe even ready to bounce back offensively after a couple of years where they have not been as potent as they had been prior?
Yeah, I think Kansas City is mostly steady, but they're not going to have the luck this year that they had last year. They might be better, but not as lucky, and therefore they're not going to go 15-2. Our numbers like Denver much more than the Chargers. We have Denver as our number 1 or 2 projected defense, and we have the Chargers defense coming back to the pack.
That's interesting. New England, Aaron, so all my fantasy stuff, people are now sort of saying the same thing. This happens. You can't find anybody who's not in on Drake May in fantasy. There's a rushing upside element specific to fantasy that people like him as a draft pick, but it just seems that sort of the world has decided that he's it. How do you feel about him?
Yeah, he's really good. The problem is, how much have they improved things around him? Right, because you don't want him to get bad habits because of problems around him, so they really hope that they've really improved things around him with all the offensive line changes and Stephon Diggs and the rookie Kyle Williams. But I do think that he's really good. I think our projections are a little lower on the Patriots than the conventional wisdom. So I think people might be overstating just how good a coach Vrabel is, because we don't really know that he's that good a coach because we only have 1 team of sample for him, which was the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, our projection system may be underselling just how bad a coach Mayo was. So it may be that Vrabel's not as good as people think he is, but Mayo was so bad that the difference between them is huge.
How big an upgrade do you think the Bears coaching move is likely to be? Ben Johnson has a lot of fans, but this is his first crack at head coach.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. We know that he is a smart, creative offensive play caller, but there is a lot that goes into being a head coach that you just don't know if a guy can do it until he does it. And there are plenty of quality coordinators who failed as head coaches. I do like his ability to be good with the Bears, but I think there are some serious questions about their defense other than Jalen Johnson, and I also think that they have a very hard schedule this year.
In turn, Detroit, how big a blow? They lost Aaron Glenn, too, the Lions. How do you think that'll look?
Our numbers still love Detroit, even giving them penalties for having the new coordinators. It still thinks, they were so injured on defense last year that if they have normal health on defense, given the way they played on defense last year, they should be a top defense. Now, the thing to remember is their offense was one of the healthiest in the league last year. And so you have to start asking yourself, who can they lose to injury? I mean, they already lost Ragnow to retirement.
Yep.
If they lose guys to injury, are they going to have problems? But if you expect an average number of injuries, we think Detroit's going to pull through and be one of the top teams in the league.
I'm thinking that a system of projections would almost definitely have Philadelphia as the top team in the NFC East. It's just a quirk in that 20 years have gone by and no team in that division has repeated as champs. How live are their contenders there? Washington, NFC Championship. A lot of people seem to like Dallas.
Surprise, this is my most surprising projection. We actually have Washington ahead of Philadelphia.
Okay. I mean, you're Aaron Schatz.
Right.
Let's go.
This is your brand.
Defense is less consistent than offense. And Philadelphia was only 13th on offense last year by my ratings. They were number one in defense by a lot. It's very unlikely they're going to be number one on defense again, especially given the amount of talent that they lost in the offseason. We believe in the young players that are going to replace those guys like Moro Ajomo and Jalen Hunt, but we haven't really seen them yet, so you can't expect that they're going to be that good. And if their defense is like third or fourth in the league, and they have the second hardest projected schedule compared to Washington at 12, Washington can pass them.
That's the Eagles playing here and the Commanders playing Miami. And that's on a neutral site, too. That's in Europe.
Yeah.
Right. That's a big difference.
Speaking of Miami, real quick on them, I know we've kind of hopped around here, but we mentioned New England. I don't think we need to really get into the Jets. The Dolphins had been the team that was the closest, right? We're in agreement there. In the rearview mirror, the Dolphins have been the team that was closest to the Bills, and I sort of feel like New England has maybe replaced them, and I feel like Miami's going the wrong way. What do your numbers say?
It's because part of it is, I talked about that wide range of possibilities, that the Raiders have a very slim range. The Patriots have a very wide range of possibilities. Miami feels very stagnant. The chapter in the Almanac talks about the question of whether people have figured out McDaniels' offense, and also his inability to do anything whenever he has a backup quarterback, which is a little bit of a problem when you have a quarterback who keeps having concussion issues. And their defense, oh my God, are there no cornerbacks? Yeah. There are no cornerbacks, and then they just lost their best cornerback, Kader Kohu, who's not really that good, but still was the best guy they had, and they lost him for the year. So they have pass rushers, but there's no secondary.
Maybe they should trade for Jalen Ramsey. Is it too late?
Yeah, it's a little too late for that guy. I don't really understand the whole Ramsey thing, honestly.
Make the same offer back, you don't get him. You have to make it better to have any chance. You'd have to improve on that. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Aaron, so I see from your Twitter, ftnfantasy.com/almanac. Is that the best and easiest way to pick it up?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the PDF. That's where you get the PDF file. If you do want the printed book, it costs a little bit more. You can search on Amazon for FTN Football Almanac 2025. But we like to sell those PDFs. They're real good for us. So ftnfantasy.com/almanac is where you pick it up.
Aaron, thank you. I know you were on the show that precedes ours, One Bills Live, as well today. I think you're probably all primed. If you wanted to go out tonight, just talk Bills with anybody. I mean, you've two radio hits in one day. You've got to be completely up to speed here.
And I mean, the thing, look, it's happy to talk about the team with my top win projection, right? Because that, I'm saying good things, right? You're more unhappy if you call me from Minnesota or something.
Ooh, I want to read this. I want to read the Minnesota section now. A lot of people like them. We'll see. All right. Thank you, Aaron.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Aaron Schatz, ftnfantasy.com/almanac. Very interesting division, the NFC North. The Bears. We asked him about the Bears. I found a mid-stakes fantasy team with 5 Bears on it. I don't know what happened there. I have no explanation. I'm not doing media. I'm just going to duck it.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would say.
I can understand. You just don't. Why you don't have an answer? There's no way. I
don't have an answer.
You can't answer for that.
I don't know what to say. I don't know how Cracklin' Honey Bears has Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, who I never draft. Apparently I do draft him. Luther Burden and Cole Kmet. Doesn't sound good at all. It's not even the right guys. Where's Loveland? Where's Odunze?
Well, I got to tell you, what would go down real nice tonight around 9:30, 9:45, hopefully catching the last inning of a ball game I've been watching, is a nice bowl of crackling honey bears that's been sitting in the freezer.
Yep.
Just get the bowl nice and cold, get those crackling honey bears out of the freezer, pour the milk on there. Oh,
who's on the box?
Perfect.
Who's on the box?
Some sort of Grateful Dead imagery.
Caleb.
I've got but I need him to be like one of those dancing bears you see on the window stickers that are the Deadheads have.
No, it'll be a picture of Derrick Henry and Brock Bowers, who are also on this team, and then the customer is intrigued.
You've ruined it. Now I don't want the cereal anymore.
I ruined it by making it too football-y. Well, sorry. I'm flattered you wanted to eat it. We'll take a break. Sal next with the latest on Maxwell Haristen. It's good news. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
We've been living in sin so long, all the fields are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all sing your high line on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life. I want to go down the rabbit hole, down the rabbit hole of life. And now it's about to leave. Oh, roller coaster.
Uh, 803-0550 is the number. Let's squeeze Luke in here in this first segment. Hi, Luke. Thanks for calling. You're on WGR.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Just wanted to kind of get your opinion on Ryan Reeves. He's on waivers. Maybe we bring him in. He's 2 hours away. sell some tickets, elevate the team a little bit. What do you think?
I think that's one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. Thank you for calling.
A sigh of relief for the Buffalo Bills today. Our own Sal Capaccio can confirm that Bills rookie corner Maxwell Haristen avoided a season-ending injury. His ACL is intact, but he did suffer an LCL sprain. No confirmation, though, on what the timeline will be for Haristen's return. We do have more on that up at our website, WGR550.com. And do stay tuned, as Sal will join the show next. The Bills did have off today. They'll be back at it, though, tomorrow from St. John Fisher University. And coverage of Bills training camp is brought to you by Figo Car and Joyce, your border attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. And driven by your Upstate Honda dealers for great deals on the entire Honda lineup. Visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. We also had some early afternoon baseball. Blue Jays take down Baltimore 9-8, while the Bisons fell to Syracuse 8-3. Mets and Padres are in action right now. It's scoreless in the second, and then the Yankees, they're going to host the Rays just after 7 o'clock. Both New York teams, though, making deals ahead of the deadline tomorrow. Yankees acquire outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox, while the Mets acquire right-hand pitcher Tyler Rogers from the Giants. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Welcome back. Sal's kind enough to fit us in today, given the good news on Maxwell Haristen. Yesterday we'd been contemplating the worst, Sal, that maybe this would be a season ender, but much better news than that. Looks like only a few weeks and could be ready by week 1.
Yeah, I think good news is in context, right? I mean, because we did see the video and it did appear that it could be much more serious, I think learning that it is an LCL sprain, which is what I was told via a league source, and the ACL is intact, that is good news. I mean, it is still not good news that your rookie first-round cornerback, who bases his game off speed, acceleration, change of direction, is going to be out a few weeks. But, look, it could have been a lot worse here. We obviously we know now, and, from what I'm reporting and others have reported, that it looks like, he has a chance at least to be ready for the regular season, but we'll see where it goes. I will say this, just to make note and clarify for everybody. The Bills don't generally give timelines on injuries, and I will report through my league source that there is no definitive timeline on his return at this point. I know that it was speculated by Ian Rappaport that maybe up to about as little as 3 weeks, but that's his report. I will say that from anything that I've heard, there's no confirmation on any timeline to return.
No reason to even offer one,
That's right.
We'd have some history with this particular injury of how long it tends to take. But everybody's different. Reaction to the pain, whatever kind of confidence you have on the knee, what the team wants to do, how slow they want to take it, I mean, it's really not even worth guessing.
Right. And on top of the fact that the Bills just don't do that anyway. The Bills are,
right.
We've talked about this many times. The Bills are pretty notorious. Sean McDermott does not put timeline on injuries. And the reason is very simple. Like, you don't want to paint yourself into a corner. If you say a guy is going to be back in 3 weeks and it's 4, there's a lot of questions. Why? What happened? Medical staff didn't do their job. He didn't rehab right. Things like that. If you say a guy is coming back in 4 weeks and he comes back in 2, it's like, what do you mean? You didn't know about the injury and how severe it was? So you just don't do things like that.
If ever I were to call in sick with the flu, I would never call it the 24-hour flu, because then they know I'm back tomorrow. Like, I'm
right.
I better be here the next day. What if I don't feel good the next day?
I still don't.
I don't know how many hour flu this is. Who am I? Marcus Welby?
Oh my God, Sal! This show needs to be pulled over.
Give me a new doctor.
Or maybe
Who's a
taken
new
out
doctor?
back and shot. What Marcus Welby?
Give me a new doctor.
Oh my God!
Later. Give me a new one. Later, we'll update that. We'll take that out in post.
Will McDermott talk tomorrow before practice, Sal? Is that scheduled?
No, he is not scheduled
okay.
to talk to. He is not scheduled to, but we could hear from him. He may.
Because of this news?
I don't know. Or we could get something from Sean. A lot of times what happens in these situations is you might get something more official from the Bills. You know what I mean? But so we'll see about that. And when it does happen, when he does talk, and I you know why, guys? He's actually talking before the open practice.
Oh, Friday's the practice. So, right.
Yeah. So I would think we always, what do we hear? These are just terms Sean McDermott uses, right? Week to week is a term he uses.
Mm-hmm.
Going to miss some time, things like that. Like those are the things that he says a lot when we know there's no definitive timeline, but a guy's going to be out a little while.
What has been your assessment prior to the injury of how Haristen was doing? I mean, I know Tre'Davious White has been getting more of the run with the ones, but Haristen's gotten some. Like, to your eyes, and just from talking to coaches and players around camp and other media, like, what do you think he is struggling with, and what do you think he was maybe excelling at? Haristen, I'm talking about.
So I don't think he's been better than White. I think White's been very good, but that's why. I think Tre'Davious White's just been really good. I thought he was the best player on the field, as we talked about yesterday, which is really nice to see. Where Max Harrison has made a lot of growth since OTAs and minicamp is his ability to know where to be, to line up correctly, to understand concepts. And I only get that and I can get that just garnering from being down there on the field, watching practice, listening to people talk to him, where you're supposed to be, telling him where to line up. Hey, that's your spot. Move forward, move left. I don't see a lot of that happening out of training camp, and it's good. He is always over, and it's really cool to see two things with him. After almost every rep, he talks to Jamil Adai, his corners coach. They just kind of talk about things. They go over things, which is really great. And honestly, whenever Tre'Davious White gets subbed out for him, they look at each other, they pass each other, they do like a fist bump, a high five. They say something to each other. It's like, he knows that Tre'Davious is there to help him, and I think Tre'Davious wants him to know that he's there to help him. Where I think that he still can get better is just in the physical playing the ball right now, and where to be when the ball arrives. I think pre-snap has gotten a lot better since OTAs and minicamp. He has made a few plays. He's also been beaten a few times where I think, if he is a little bit closer to the receiver there, if he's running a little bit more, stride for stride with him. But look, it's not like it's happening every day where he's getting beat. That happened against Keon Coleman the other day when Coleman made a great adjustment and Max just kind of flew by him a little bit instead of understanding the concept of where the ball is going to come down. But he also made an incredible play the first day of practice when KJ Hamler was basically right in the end zone awaiting a ball. Nobody was within him, and all of a sudden Max Harrison understood, I need to be right there right now, and he got there.
Well, Trey White, I mean, all the more reason with these latest developments with Harrison to think he'll be in the starting lineup week 1 against Baltimore. It's kind of incredible. Like a year ago, this would not have sounded to me like anything I'd ever want to do with as much admiration for him as many of us have had. But that'll be one we talk about leading up to the Ravens. He played for the Ravens in their last game here, and so they know who they're dealing with in Trey White and vice versa.
He did, and you're right about that. And the Ravens at this point look like they could be without Isaiah Likely. Obviously, that's a pretty significant blow for their passing game. It's not built on the wide receivers. right? Their passing game, they're good enough. Rashad Bateman's pretty good, and Zay Flowers mostly in the slot. But this is not a wide receiver, outside boundary wide receiver eccentric offense, right? So maybe something there is a great way to kind of just see where to get Tre'Davious White, his feet back under him in the regular season game. He's going to have some time in preseason before that. You're not throwing him right out there against the top receivers in the league and top guy in the league and saying, go cover him. Christian Benford's going to be your cornerback one in that scenario. But I agree with you, Mike. I mean, you go back a year ago and, after he was released by the Bills and Tre'Davious White, goes on, he signs with the Rams and always felt kind of, oh man, I can't believe it. And, this guy had such a promising career. He was so good and these injuries derailed him. And now here we are and he's back in the fold with the Bills. And not only back, but I mean, I think he's energetic. I think he really is confident right now. And I like the way he's been playing.
And by the way, Zay Flowers left Baltimore's practice yesterday with an apparent leg thing and was not on the field for practice today. That's the latest I have on that, which isn't much, but there could be something there too.
Yeah, so remember he missed last year's playoff game, right? He didn't play against the Bills last year.
Right. Yeah, right. Flowers.
Oh, yeah?
He got twisted. What was he? Got twisted in the Pittsburgh game on the sideline or something, and maybe missed that game. I forgot about that.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for fitting us in here, Sal.
You got it, guys. Have a great one.
All right, there you go. There's Sal Capaccio on what was supposed to be his day off. But, we had Max Haristen news, good news, relatively speaking. Better news than we thought 24 hours ago. Anyway, training camp coverage continues to be brought to you by Fiegel, Carr, and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys, and driven by your Upstate Honda dealers. For great deals on the entire Honda lineup, visit your Upstate Honda dealer today.
I had forgotten that about Flowers. That game, Andrews 5 for 61 in the fumble, Likely 4 for 73 in a touchdown, Bateman 4 for 66 in the touchdown. That opened the scoring. Anthony Miller had one. Tylan Wallace, it's a big loss. I think of Flowers, and I think of the fumble in the playoffs against Kansas City.
Right.
At the 1 yard line the year before, which was weird because the Chiefs fumbled on the 1 yard line here.
Right.
The week before.
That's right.
And the Bills recovered that, and the Chiefs recovered the one in Baltimore. Game changers. Well, it wasn't the second example, at least, because the Bills lost anyway. 803-0550 to join us. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. We'll be right back. This is WGR.
It's Bulldog here.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. Yeah. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you over and over again. You gotta get both hands around it and make your own plans. Roller coaster, it's taking over, it's about time. Oh, all
WGR was a popular television series back on like network TV. Remember network TV?
Sure. It's still a thing.
Yeah, I guess. It's not all just like, music contests and, marriage shows. Anyway, there's an HBO show set in an ER, and Noah Wiley is in that. Whatever his name is that in the show, that's the guy you needed there.
But nobody's going to know that.
Yeah, well, some
right?
people would.
You are aware of the show, but you don't know the character.
I don't know the character.
So what if his name is Bob? What am I, Bob? Nobody knows what that means.
Well, I would think like Dr. something. Not Bob,
it's too fragmented.
Yeah.
Nobody knows anything now. That's my excuse. Yeah. It's just too much of everything. And is there a doctor that's out there in the pop culture space that would be like a household name?
Besides Zhivago? No.
Yeah, besides Dr. Zhivago, yes.
Even older than Marcus Welby. No, no. Maybe not in the way that
I don't know.
We need here.
I don't know. Not as familiar as I should be with the work.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but Marcus Welby was hilarious.
Who am I, Marcus Welby? Who am I, Quincy?
Quincy was the other, but he was
not a doctor.
Corner.
He was a medical examiner.
Right.
Yes, he was not a doctor.
The show, in fact, at one point, I think it was called Quincy M.E.
Quincy M.E.
Right.
Yep.
There's a famous punk rock episode of Quincy. That
is there?
Yes, where it was set in like there was a murder in a punk rock club, and all the people in the dog collar necklaces and blue hair, and it's just incredible. It's the most 80s thing that ever 80s.
I'll take you inside. It's a running joke I have with myself at home and with our dog that I try to impart on my family members, and they're not amused. But I will just randomly announce that one at a time, one of Margot's toys has gotten their degree in something.
Okay.
So like Bagel Shope is now Bagel Shope MD.
I see.
Rawhide Shope is Rawhide Shope ME. I will use the ME.
I see.
Right? It's not a degree, it has a title, as an official...
I'm just going to be really frank. I'm going to be frank with you.
Froggy
we're not going to be together
Esquire.
After today for a while, but you're making it worse.
Froggy Shope Esquire.
You started trying to back out of Marcus Welby, and now we're talking about.
I'm leaning in.
Doctor degree having inanimate objects.
Yes.
Okay. This is going great.
Oh, who's that? Margot, who's that? Oh, it's Foxy Shope DDS. Oh my God. Foxy's a dentist now. Also, he's lost his legs. Margot chewed his legs off, but he's a dentist. That'd be a great show for one of your networks that you watch. Yes. You'd have a fox, a legless fox, fixing people's teeth. I'd watch. I'd be like Hall of Fame game. I watch for 8 minutes. I want to see what it looks like, and then I'll get out of there. Foxy Shope DDS.
Folks out there, if you've never tried any hallucinogenic drugs, guess what? We just made it happen for you.
I could never.
I mean, this show is still free, and we just gave you that.
I could never. This is why. It's too dangerous. I'm already like this. Oh, what's Margot got? There's lots of these toys. Oh, it's Mittens. Oh, it's LLC. That's not a title that you earn as an individual.
No, one of them could incorporate.
Mittens Shope is now a non-profit.
Keep digging.
Oh, it's Barking Buddha Shope. What's Barking Buddha Shope up to? Oh, he's playing professional tennis. I don't know. Enough. I'm ruining it. It was good, though, right? We'll take a break and get back into the Bills. Oh, it was brilliant. I can't wait to watch it. G's going to put it up there in like 3 minutes. It'll be up like the hot vitamin water.
Yeah.
And I'll have to answer to this one, which is fine. I'm always willing. Back to the Bills after the update here on WGR.
Our own Sal Capaccio can confirm that Bills rookie corner Maxwell Haristen avoided a serious injury. His ACL is intact, but he did suffer an LCL sprain. No confirmation on what the timeline will look like for Haristen to return, but is not season-ending. We do have more on this up at our website, WGR550.com. The Bills are off today, but we'll get back at it tomorrow from St. John Fisher University. And coverage of Bills training camp is brought to you by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys, and driven by your Upstate Honda dealers. For great deals on the entire Honda lineup, visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely is going to be having surgery on a broken bone in his foot. The hope is he'll be back for week 1. And wide receiver Zay Flowers not practicing today for the Ravens. Head coach John Harbaugh, though, did say after practice that Flowers should be back in just a few days. We also had early afternoon baseball today. The Blue Jays take down Baltimore 9-8, while the Bisons fell to Syracuse 8-3. Mets currently trail the Padres 2-0 in the third, and then coming up just after 7 o'clock, the Yankees will host the Rays. But before tomorrow's trade deadline, both New York teams made moves. The Yankees acquiring outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox, while the Mets acquire right-handed pitcher Tyler Rogers from the San Francisco Giants. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They have this Panther sound effect that is just the cheesiest, stupidest sounding thing. Big voice guy going, Panther goal scored by Sam Reinhart.
Where'd you get that thing? I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
It's Mike Schopp.
If you're calm, that wondrous big cat will be calm too. But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do. Namely, eat you with a smile on its face.
And the Bulldog. On WGR Sports Radio 550.
See, now that would have been quite a scene this morning had... when Terry Pagula opened those doors, a literal panther. I mean, that would have been
good.
Very unexpected and scary.
Yeah. Now I'm going to need someone out there that knows how to do that sort of stuff. That's already done lots of that stuff. Just go ahead and do that. Like throw that panther in there and just get. I'm all good.
I just can't imagine having been in the creative for that meeting, and I think it's because it's a key. The key opens the door, and then the doors come open. And it says KeyBank naming rights through 2036, and like a room applauds, and that somebody would have,
thought that was
proposed
a good idea.
that,
yeah.
And I would have been at that table just banging my head, not even like my fist, my head on the table.
Right.
You guys, you ever pay attention to Sabres fans? You want to know how that's going to go over?
Yes, this news conference should have been an email.
It should have been an email.
And it was. I mean, I got an email this morning telling me what exactly was going to be announced at 10 o'clock. Okay, thanks, I'm good.
I mean, the bank would have wanted it to be bigger than an email because this is big for the bank.
Sure.
This is why they're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's the bank show, which is great. Good for the bank. But who's supposed to care? Who cares what the arena is named? I mean, just
yeah.
It's just like you got a room of people applauding a sign. I don't know. It's always this way. Why is it always this way with them?
I wonder. I just thought of this. I wonder how much of them making it into an event was in maybe their view an opportunity to quell any unease. 10-year agreement. Look. Right? We're not going anywhere.
Well,
I mean, that could have come up in that board meeting where you would have been banging your head off the table. I don't know.
I'm not thinking about them moving, but this doesn't mean they can't move. The arena's not moving.
All right.
But I wasn't thinking about that. But maybe, somebody like this is sort of assurance. Last year we had the roof.
Right.
And a scoreboard. And right. People wanted that? I never knew that people even cared about. Well, the roof you don't want, you just need. There's an ad that says
it's right. It's the same. Yeah, I mean,
sometimes you have to do
it's
that.
the same with your house. It really, do I want to spend money on this?
But don't put the roof in the email with the scoreboard, because the scoreboard's for entertainment purposes, and the roof is something you got to fix your house.
Right.
So I had some fun this morning imagining the rest of Josh Allen's career.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned this earlier.
Want to play with that? Max Harrison is big news. We're not ducking it. Not sure what there is to say. I mean, everything is pretty obvious here. It's a big upgrade over what we thought might have been the case yesterday. There seems to be a fair chance he'll play in week 1. Mm-hmm. I mean, his development will be slowed by this. I think that's maybe all of it.
That is it. So, yes, considering how we felt yesterday, it's still not good that he got hurt at all, of course. Duh. If that needs to be said at least once on this show, there, I said it, right? It seems that should be obvious. But considering what the possibilities were at this time yesterday, I feel like today was, I'm going to say, great news.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
So, in the context of we knew he was hurt and, he's only week to week, okay, we'll take it.
By the way, I love to see that the dog toy humor is already on the X platform.
I mean, you did.
I told
you called for it.
3 minutes, and it was maybe 4. Maybe it was 3.
Yeah.
Bang. And by the way, to that, this drink, by the way, I bought today. This is from today.
Well, put it in the fridge if you don't finish it.
I will finish it.
Although you're going on vacation.
I will finish it.
You don't want to leave.
I'll just leave it here for
vacation.
12 days.
That would not be good.
I'll finish it, but in case anybody, how old is that?
The caption,
I bought it on my way in.
The caption on the tweet is just gold. Here, the show took a slight detour from Dr. Marcus Welby talk. Oh, my Lord. Wow.
Keep going.
That is incredible. Do an inside joke Schopp has with his dog, Margot.
Yeah, and Margot is spelled correctly, by the way.
Who would spell Margot a different way?
Margot Robbie with a T, or Margot Kidder.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, that's right.
A couple people would.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see a T.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see a T. So anyway, this morning I was having some fun projecting the rest of Josh Allen's career. Would you like a couple of these thoughts?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll have to try some of this on.
So where do you think Josh Allen ranks all time in passing yards? Want the number?
Sure.
26,434.
All time in the NFL?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
That is...
You're always so good at these.
I've never really thought about this, though. All time in the league, that is 100th.
75th.
Okay.
That's a good guess. What's 100th? Staubach on the number. 22,700.
Okay.
So Josh Allen's way ahead of Roger Staubach in career passing yards. He's one spot ahead of Jim Harbaugh.
Good.
Good. And one behind Bobby Lane.
I like his chances.
Of catching Bobby Lane?
Yes. So
what do you think of his chances of getting to 50,000?
I think pretty decent.
They are.
I think pretty decent. Because I mean, obviously it depends on his health. His health will pertain to how long he wants to play. To some extent, although, guys can just say, you know what, I've had enough after X amount of years or something. But if he's about halfway through his career, or maybe a little less, then he doesn't have to pace at the same number he's gone already in these first 8 years. I think that, or 7 years, excuse me, right? Do I have that right? I'm sorry. I'm getting it's seven seasons he's played so far. So I think he can put up another 24,000 yards over another 7 or 8 seasons. Sure.
Here's the math. He's pacing toward it. At 17 games a season, if you take what he's done before and put 26,434 by 17 games, it's an average of 4,048. So if he plays a full season, he's averaged 4,048. And if he goes 8 more years at that pace, That's 32,000 more yards. So that'd get him to 58,000 yards. 8 more seasons at a full workload. And so, maybe that's a little aggressive. Maybe it's not even. It's 4,000. Guys do better than that.
Yep.
30,000 more passing yards are absolutely in the range of outcomes.
It assumes he plays every one of those seasons, which might be assuming a lot. Not to be a doomsayer or anything, but, it's just some point or another you would expect, I don't know. I'm not ready. I wouldn't bet that he's going to play every game for another 8 years.
No, I wouldn't bet that either, but he's been very durable,
Yes,
and
he
he's
has.
still not 30.
Right.
So the chances are pretty good that he comes close to that. Mm-hmm. I think the thing with him, and I'll preface this by saying also something that's probably goes without saying, but I don't know what's in his head about his future. He might be somebody that never thinks about it. He's probably going to tell you that he never thinks about it. He never thinks about who we're playing in week 2 when it's week 1, he says. So, I don't know. It seems like human nature would be to think about it. I mean, he's set for life financially. Mm-hmm. He's married. And he's also, much to his credit, involved in other things. He's got that media business that he started and investments, New Era,
Encore Golf.
He's set
golf
up
in general. He's like a I don't know about a star, but like YouTube golf. Like he's prominent.
But that's fine. It's like even bigger stuff, right? I think he's somebody that is positioned to take over the world, perhaps. He he really financially. I think I've been told this. I've never experienced it, but you get to a certain level of wealth. And I think it gets pretty easy from there if you're not stupid, right? I mean, with investments and opportunities, he should be able to grow his personal wealth for many years, unless there's some tragedy. So he won't need football for money anymore. That's, but guys don't play football only for money. And
no, he's even talked about that this offseason, I think, like how it's just like he I think he used the phrasing set for life money, and now it's just about the trophy. Like let's go do this. So that becomes that's a part of the conversation I think that you would want to have, and maybe let's all hope that we're lucky enough to have it as soon as it's February. What does this mean to him now, right? Does he look at okay, I got there, I did it, we did it, the city did it, we're okay, and is that okay, I'm not done playing, but the need to do it for another 10 years maybe dissipates a little if you get there.
Well, right. I mean, so many different things are possible. Marriage means family, usually, and so guys who get older want their kids to see them play. They also think about, their own personal health in a different way.
Walking away healthy so they can be with their kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so, but that's probably years off, any sort of big decision like that. His contract is still for several more years anyway, restructured it again, so it's not like anything is coming right down the pike here. But the individual quest to win a championship as a quarterback, for all that means in the quarterback world, legacy stuff, plus winning here. And he seems so genuine about winning here. I mean, he's just, since day one, been all the way committed to the area and the organization and the fans. I mean, that continues. And the quest is incomplete. So, for the Bills, you want to keep this on the track for as long as possible and have it be a team that gives him, not just for yourself, but for him, a look at a championship. Because that's what he's going to want for as long as he is in the NFL. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Could he have Aaron Rodgers' career? He's having it. He's elite. And it was 2010. Rodgers was 05, and then he sat. And it was 10 when they won. So 5-6 years into his career, they won. He got his one. Never got back. But what's his life? I mean, it's kind of weird in ways, but how has his life been? Probably amazing. Even though they don't have another Super Bowl, he's got his one, and he's still going. At 41, 42, he wants to keep playing.
Closet full of MVPs, and people like I will take my shots at him for the personality and the way he has been portrayed in various corners of the media world. Our buddy Tyler Dunn, for an example, maybe the chief example. Like, he's easy to make fun of in a certain way, but there's no disputing how great he was. A great player. I don't think he's a great player anymore, but he's one of the best players that ever played the position.
And he just got married this offseason also.
Apparently that was also learned recently. Yes.
Mystery bride.
Right.
The mystery bride. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Allen will have different agendas as he gets older. Turns 30 next year, married, family. What do you want? He's not going to want for money. And she's probably super wealthy too, right?
You'd think.
Like sort of a version of Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
Pretty massive
with
power
them.
couple, yeah.
Right? And I don't know. Like, that'll be interesting, of course, to follow over the years. But this was an exercise in, well, how many more years are we likely to get? Whether he plays for the Bills or another team. Like, what does his stat line look when he's done? And if he plays 8 more full seasons, which takes him to 30 through age 36, so age 37, right? He just turned 29 this May, this offseason. So through the age of 36, turns 37, 8 more years at his current pace, that gets him to 58,000 passing yards.
And where would that rank in league history?
That right now would be 11th. But it won't be 11th in 8 years.
There'll be other guys that are going to get there.
Who would it be? Stafford's already 10th. Rodgers is 6th. Russell Wilson, does he have 12,000 more passing yards in him? Maybe not. Does Joe Flacco? Maybe not. Does Kirk Cousins? Almost definitely not.
Right.
Then you get to Andy Dalton, Derek Carr, Andy Dalton. They might both be like done.
Yep.
And then Goff at 35,000. Tannehill just continues to be super annoying and will not tell us what he's up to. But he's not throwing for passing yards right now, presently.
No.
Goff is at 35. Goff is not that old. Goff is like 30.
Right.
Right?
Right.
He's a little older a couple years older than Allen.
Right.
So that's, he could get there.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes is at 32,000. He will get there.
Yes.
And Prescott's at 31. He should get there. And then it's Allen next. And then Mayfield. So it'll be 10 to 15.
Right.
58,000, 60,000. Realistic number if he wants to play a long time, into his late 30s. That's not even the record. If he wants to play into his late 30s, he should get to 60,000 passing yards, unless he breaks down,
Right.
In that Barnwell piece I mentioned, like, that's the one but on Allen is the way he plays. Will he have a shorter shelf life than someone else, like a Burrow or somebody, I guess.
Right.
So,
well, I think that is something that could if the running curtails as we go here, right? Just maybe gradually, it doesn't have to fall off a cliff or anything, but by his age 34, 35 season, he's running for, maybe there's still touchdowns in there because he's still big and strong, but it's 300 yards instead of 600 yards or 200 yards instead of 600 yards. Maybe some of those yards are replaced by passing yards. For him, not necessarily, you don't have to go to the running back necessarily, whoever that will be at that time, but maybe it's more like passes that are ostensibly runs, right? Like, here's more swing passes, right? Like, think about Roethlisberger at the end. So there's a way there for him to even increase his output passing yardage-wise if the running dissipates. I mean, it's not a direct correlation, but it could be something to take into account, down the road.
Well, 58,000 passing yards, 60,000 even. Like, 60,000 is a milestone. I'm not sure one would necessarily aspire to it. It's not the most.
Right.
You're not aspiring to be the 11th most prolific passer in NFL history, right? It's a number. But it's not a record. As far as, like, individual records go, that is rushing for Allen. Like, that's where he's got the more potential. He's got 65 already. The exact same number as Thurman Thomas and, by the way, Willis McGahee. One more than Larry Zonka for his career. 65.
Who has the most rushing touchdowns as a quarterback in the history of the league?
Cam Newton.
And that number is
75.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
this year.
He's going to do that this year.
He could do that this year.
Yeah. And then the opportunity to put a number on the board, right? As his career, goes through, on its course, whenever he wants. I mean, he could end up with, 150 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback, which is just
that's not going to happen.
Insane.
150, I'm ruling that out. 100 is very attainable.
Mm-hmm.
150 would mean the same violent pace for a decade, I think. Like that's kind of madness. Maybe if he's just indestructible, I shouldn't assume, right? But that would be second all time of all players. Second all time in rushing touchdowns is LaDainian Tomlinson, 145. Emmitt Smith is first, 164. He could aspire to 100 touchdowns. Or, I mean, he's going to break Newton's record tomorrow. So
right.
he could aspire to that. If he averages, his average over the same 17-game tool is 10. So the same eight years we used for passing yards would be 80 more. If he kept up his already pace, his current pace for rushing touchdowns, which I doubt will happen. But if he does that, that's 145. That'd be 100. That'd be Tomlinson.
It'd be second. Yeah.
Be second. I doubt that'll happen. But if you see 50 more.
Me too, but it's nice to dream about, I guess.
If you see 50 more rushing touchdowns from him, so 6 a year for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's fifth all time. That's 115. That's ahead of Walter Payton. Think about that. That's ahead of Jim Brown. He is on a pretty makeable pace to finish with more rushing touchdowns than Walter Payton and Jim Brown.
That doesn't seem right.
I know. It's amazing.
This does not seem right.
That's
the fact
amazing.
that he's already tied with Thurman Thomas is insanity.
Yep.
In and of itself. One of the greatest running backs who ever played. And here's your quarterback, and he's,
and ahead of OJ.
Halfway through his career, and there you are. Yeah.
OJ had 61.
Yeah.
Was he good?
He was pretty good, yeah.
Running era on a team at its peak that only wanted to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he got hurt. Like, he didn't play forever, but running backs don't play forever, except for a couple guys. And he got to 61. So 6 a year on average, basically. I mean, he had bigger years, but 6 a year for O.J. Simpson. And Allen he averages 10 by 17 games, and O.J.'s mostly playing 14 games.
Right.
That makes a difference. I mean, that's like 30 games that he didn't get because of the schedule. Cam Newton is 26th all-time in rushing touchdowns, first among quarterbacks, and 47th all-time in passing touchdowns, which is all quarterbacks. 47th among quarterbacks.
There's no non-quarterback in the top all-time
Who would it be?
Passing touchdowns.
Who would be the record? Maybe somebody really old? Walter Payton threw the ball.
Yeah, there was a halfback option thing for him. Yep.
Tomlinson did. I don't know who would be like the guy for that. I think maybe it's Walter Payton.
Maybe.
There was a game in New Orleans when I think he threw for 2.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to look that up. There's a famous, maybe it's not that famous, but I know there's a Bears-Saints game where Payton, his passing was relevant.
It's the old, hey, this worked once. They'll never see it coming a second time.
Yeah. And there it was.
Right.
It came.
Right.
Narrator. He was left-handed, I think.
I can't see it. I don't know. I'm not disputing you. I can't see him throwing the ball.
Thoughts on Josh Allen's future? 803-0550, or the good news on Maxwell Haristen today. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog will look for your calls next. This is WGR.
Confirmed that Bills rookie corner Maxwell Haristen avoided a season-ending injury. His ACL is intact, but he did suffer an LCL sprain. No confirmation on what the timeline will look like for Haristen's return. You can read more on this with a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. The Bills, they were off today, but we'll get back at it tomorrow from St. John Fisher University. And coverage of Bills training camp is brought to you by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors & Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. And driven by your Upstate Honda dealers. For great deals on the entire Honda lineup, visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. We've also had some early afternoon baseball. 2 games already in the books. Blue Jays take down Baltimore 9-8, while the Bisons, they fell to Syracuse 8-3. Currently underway right now, the Mets do trail the Padres 4-0 in the 5th. The Yankees will host the Rays just after 7 o'clock. And then with tomorrow's trade deadline, both New York teams have made moves. The Yankees acquire outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox, while the Mets acquire right-handed pitcher Tyler Rogers from the Giants. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Right now, callers 5 and 6 at 716-221-4WGR. That's 4947. Each win a pair of tickets to see the Bisons Saturday at 6:35, this Saturday. It is Women in Sports Night, and there will be a post-game drone show. If you don't win, you can buy tickets at milb.com. Syracuse is in town this week. They played today. They lost? I think they lost today. They lose a lot.
Yeah, I've seen highlights throughout the day on my socials, but I don't know what the final was. But it's not gone. Yeah, that second half thing, they're not taking advantage of that.
Not taking advantage.
No, it's too bad.
Actually, yeah, they lost 8-3 today.
Excuse me, sorry about that.
Sure. I got another email from Pro Football Network, and these guys have a lot of time on their hands, but I really appreciate the work that they do because it's good to talk about.
Thorough, the emails. There's a lot of content in those emails from those folks.
Today, I'm looking for it. We got each team's over-under for longest winning streak and losing streak.
Oh, boy.
The Bills last year had a 7-game winning streak at one point between Houston and Detroit, right? Or the Rams.
The Rams.
They beat
right.
Detroit
Yeah.
the following week. Yeah, they won 7 in a row between the Houston loss and the Rams loss. And their longest losing streak was, of course, 2. Baltimore and Houston. Their only losing streak of the year. Haven't they lost 2 in a row every year? Wasn't that a thing?
I can get that relatively quickly for you. Let me go. 24 we know they did, of course. 23, yes, Bengals, Denver, weeks 9 and 10 in that season. Let me go to 22 and yep, right around the same time, weeks 9 and 10, Jets and Vikings back to back.
Oh, Jets is the pass to Davis at the end.
Right.
And then Jefferson.
That's right. 21, definitely, yeah. Patriots, Tampa Bay in overtime. Wind game, and then the overtime loss in Tampa. That was pretty lopsided, and then they got back in it. Going all the way back to 20, yep, Titans, Chiefs, weeks 5 and 6.
Oh, wow, COVID.
In that season... do I need to go? I'll go to 19 just for the hell of it.
They must have in 19.
Where I'm going to stop, and they lost their final 2.
Jets.
Patriots.
Jets.
Patriots, that order, yeah.
Patriots the Saturday in New England.
Right.
Sunday, they didn't need it.
They were locked
Wild
in.
card.
Yep.
So they've lost 2 in a row at least once, or exactly once, maybe, 6 years in a row.
Yep.
So... there was a thing I was going to say where they have had these 2-game skids, but then they've been like 50-1 or something after that
right.
during their seasons. Something incredible. This year, their losing streak spread at BetOnline, this is not Pro Football Network, this is BetOnline, sorry, is 1.5. Will the Bills lose 2 in a row? this year? Would you bet yes or no? Man, imagine if they didn't.
I mean, the fact that they've done it every year of Allen's career, I didn't look at 18, but they surely lost at least 2 in a row at some point in a season where they were
6 and
10. So, like, no question about that. So every year, and even every year since they've been good with Allen, they've had 2 in a row that they've lost. I don't know. Maybe I want to bet the under because I think they're going to get the 1 seed, and the way to avoid not getting the 1 seed is not to have a 2-game losing streak in one of these seasons. Maybe, but not that has to be why you would bet it. But I mean, I mean, logic would tell you to bet the over because they've had it happen the last 6 years.
They don't have 2 tough ones on paper in a row, though. Like Baltimore and Houston last year, they were going to be underdogs in one of those games, if not both. Like that, at Houston looked tougher a year ago now than it does in retrospect, but they lost the game.
Right.
You know, they weren't that good, Houston. But it felt like they were going to be good at home with Diggs.
I mean, I know what you're saying about not having back-to-back, but like the 1 year in there where one of the losses was the Patriot loss in the wind game. Like that's not a team you should have lost to, but it was a freak show weather event, and you lost. So, you know, that's where like a loss that you can't really explain comes into play. Like, you know, here's one, right? I mentioned we ran through the schedule the other day. The Carolina game is it's after the bye. Like, what? How did you do? And then the Chief game is right after that. You know, I don't know. You almost need to lose a game that doesn't make sense for them to lose 2 in a row this year.
Almost, right. That's what I'm saying. They don't have Baltimore and Cincinnati back-to-back or anything like that.
Right.
I think Baltimore being so good, I would think that if you told me it did happen, that they had a 2-game losing streak, I might pick 0-2. The Ravens at home, that's a coin flip almost.
And the Jet game.
And then at the Jets, they've lost that game. A new fired-up Jets team? No, I'm not predicting they'll lose, but I'm just, if you told me.
I know.
Or it could be the last 2.
Right, you lose the Eagle game, you're locked into the 3 or something, whatever, right? And then you just pitch the Jet game.
To close the stadium, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're playing at home. That could be a thing, too. Get me there.
Yeah.
Do we take a meaningless Week 18 game against the Jets more seriously for the one reason? Because it's the last home game at the stadium ever.
No, we don't.
We don't?
No. They're giving everyone the red helmets in that game, and if that means that Josh Allen hardly ever wears, if at all, wears the red helmet, you know, he would because he'll start the game and play a series to keep, assuming he's played them all to get there. He'll do what he did in New England last year, which is, you know, play a series and then sit down.
It's so funny that the Patriots that day did the same thing with Drake May, and they still won.
Yes,
they had nothing to play for, and they've got a rookie quarterback, you know, supposedly developing, and they did the same thing.
Right.
He played a series or something, and they pulled him because they didn't want to win. And they still did.
And they did anyways.
Joe
Milton.
I wonder what they do. Does someone know what they would have done had they lost that game and picked first? They don't pick Cam Ward. Maybe they pick Hunter? Do they still pick an offensive lineman at 1?
I don't know. I don't think you take the guy with the short arms.
You take Abdul Carter.
That's
what you do.
That's probably right. Mike Vrabel takes Abdul Carter all
at
day
101.
Long. Yeah.
Did you see the nugget about him? He's with the Giants, and I think it was Art Stapleton was the reporter who said how Malik Neighbors is said to be going home from practice every day and watching practice back. And he's telling his teammates all this stuff about what Carter is doing.
The guy's killing it. Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
One other candidate would be Cincinnati, New England. Weeks 14 and 15. Bengals have been tough.
Yep.
Then it's at Foxborough the next week. Maybe they're playing for a wild card or something, or even the division.
Right.
There's where you could lose 2 in a row. So,
or at Pittsburgh doesn't have to be a walk in the park,
right?
And then that the Bengal game is the one that's in between that and the New England game. So that's another possibility, I think.
Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, New England, 3 out of 4 on the road. That's a tougher stretch. So,
Put Tampa in there too. I think that's a harder game than I think most people want to think it is. I still think Tampa's reputation, except for the little Brady burst there a couple years ago, is like, whatever, no big deal. But they're probably pretty good.
I think you're higher on them than I am.
Yeah.
The Bucks.
It's because I've always liked Baker.
Have you?
I think. No, there was a love. I think I liked him, and then I thought maybe like, really, you're a little too much like high school tough guy act going on. But the way that his career has gone made him into a sympathetic figure for me.
Made him an underdog.
Yeah, right. The Browns kicking him to the curb for Deshaun Watson, and how that blew up in their faces, and he goes to the Rams, gets there on a Wednesday or Tuesday and plays on Thursday, and goes well enough. I find it hard not to root for him.
I like that point. Darnold is similar. These guys are the 1-2 quarterbacks in that draft, and then Allen and Jackson exist, and that'd be tough to live with, right?
Yep.
Like, all your fans are wishing they picked Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson instead of you. And it's probably to be expected that they'd get out of those organizations. But they've both been on how many? Mayfield went to the Panthers, and then he went to the Rams. Remember, he showed up, like you just said it.
Yeah, right.
Played that game for the Rams.
But he was in Carolina before that? I don't even remember that.
Was it before or after? I think it was before. And then he was released or something, maybe, and then the Rams, and then Tampa. So he's on his 4th team. If I haven't forgotten one, you're checking the order. Good.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go see what is what there with him. Let's see. Scrolling. Sorry, I could have done this in a more convenient fashion than I have. Oh my gosh, there's so much crap here. Here we are. Cleveland, Carolina, then the Rams, and then Tampa.
And what's Darnold? Darnold is Jets, Carolina, San Francisco, Seattle, or Minnesota, Seattle.
Boy, San Francisco's easy to forget.
He was the backup there.
Yeah.
So he's on at least his 5th team already. How about that?
Right, that is pretty nuts.
By the way, I told you that these losing streak and winning streak betting lines, the Bills' losing streak line 1.5 at BetOnline. The winning streak line is 5.5. And that is the highest in the NFL. No ties. Wait, Baltimore, sorry. They both have 5.5. Will the Bills win 6 in a row?
I would bet yes on that.
Think about that. Listen to that.
I would bet yes on that.
6.
Especially,
even money bet that they will win 6 in a row at one point. Jets, Dolphins, Saints, Patriots, Falcons, Panthers. How does that sound?
I mean, if they get the opener, then the first 6 to me are pretty convenient, and then you could even get to 7 with the Carolina game after the bye.
Feel free to bring this up with Sam.
Beat the Chiefs in week 8 or week 9, and it's a perfect season.
That's what I was going to say. Like, a team to start 5-0 or something might be bettable. You might find stuff like that. And if you want Bills over Ravens, that's a move. 17-0 even, but everybody's going to think they'll win their first six or 7 games if they beat Baltimore.
Right.
I mean, fans will. I don't think I could bet any team ever to win 6 in a row. I don't think I could do it. I'd be under on the Ravens too. It's just Aaron Schatz mentioned they lost home games last year to the Raiders and the Browns. Watson Browns, even if that's not better.
That's whatever. That's a worse job.
How do you lose to the Raiders and the Browns at home? But they did it. That's what he said.
And still have a good season.
The Bills don't have those stupid losses, but Baltimore has their share at least. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll be right back. This is WGR. Been a baseball day in here on the TV. We saw Boston blow out Minnesota. Now it's Mets-Padres. Padres up 4-0 in the 6th. Yu Darvish having, by a lot, his best outing of the season. His first good one. 4-0 Padres is the score. I wonder how many fans of this game are attempting the 999 challenge.
What's that now? I don't know about the 999 challenge. I might be up for something if I'm going to a ball game in Boston in mid-August.
With Owen?
Yeah.
All right. I want both of you to try it. Okay. 9 innings. You get 9 innings to drink 9 beers and eat 9 hot dogs.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and not do that. I'm telling you right now.
What about Owen?
I'm not. He's very moderate when it comes to drinking.
Okay. What about you?
I've not officially partaken in such a challenge, but I'm sure I've done it.
Oh my God! I can't imagine how disgusting I would feel.
There might have been a rain delay, but whatever. No, we are.
9.
I've decided that we're flying to Boston. I know that's so indulgent, but whatever. I found a flight that I could live with the price.
You fly to Boston,
and so but it's so easy to drive. We drove there in November for a concert, and it was like 6 hours in and out, like door to door. It was great, but part of my problem is we're staying at a hotel. Well, I mean, it's not a problem where we're staying, but getting there on the day of the game. Like, we're going to drive there. The game is a 4:00 Saturday afternoon game. So whenever, I'm not going to leave so early, but getting to the hotel, which is like right in the neighborhood that the ballpark is, just seems like it could be really traffic problems. So I'm like, you know what? It's going to be $100 to park the truck in Boston anyway, $100 in gas. I just started doing some very loose math without a calculator, mind you, and just said, you know what? Fine, couple of flights. But the problem with 9 beers and 9 innings is we got to be at the airport in Boston to come home at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, that's tough.
And so I decided, we'll get there early enough. We can spend the whole day, do some other Boston-y type things that Owen's never got to experience. Because when we went to this concert, we literally got there and went out for drinks, went to the concert, got in the truck, and came home. But the morning, I'm not going to want to have had 9 beers at a ball game and then go to the airport at 6 in the morning.
No, it's an awful feeling to be hungover at an airport, and then you have 9 hot dogs to consider.
That is also problematic. Yes.
The best way, I'd have no chance. The best way would be like a Friday night or something, and you're in your home city, so you're not squandering other opportunities to sightsee or do different things, because the next day is going to be bad.
Yeah.
I would consider a 6 hot dog, 4 martini challenge, something like that. I might be able to crush that. I don't know about 9 beers. No, thank you. I can't drink 3 beers and be happy anymore. Just 2 is enough.
I sadly still can.
Yeah, 2 is all gin is a different story. 2 is all I need.
3 is really the happy spot.
Wine is different. Beer is just so
3
much.
Is this could go all day. 3.
Yeah, and it will.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
9 and
JJ Watt did it. JJ Bet Online tells me JJ Watt did this last weekend in Milwaukee in 5.5 innings. 9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 5.5 innings. Bam.
I think, 9
hot dogs.
9 lagers that are 4.5 to 5%.
Normal size?
Yeah, the 12
like a can.
A 12 ounce. Yeah, 12 ounce beer.
Yep.
Not like the super potent kerosene that I drink usually when I go out. There's an IPA that's 9%? Let me see how smooth that is. No. I train for this. If I were to drink, I wouldn't enjoy the beers that much. I mean, whatever. The worst beer I ever had was great, but still, it's not,
I would be so gross.
Lighter,
so gross.
Like a light beer. But the hot dogs, I don't think I could do it.
Plain?
I don't think I could.
Would you have to eat the hot dogs plain?
See, I don't think I think I would need mustard, at least mustard.
That's not going to kill you.
Nah.
That mustard's probably fine. You don't want the onions and the relish on there.
I'll just
You're going to eat 9 of them.
I'll just say it this way, as much as it's going to make me sound like a still raging alcoholic. I would have a much harder time eating the 9 hot dogs than drinking the 9 beers.
Oh, well, we'd be a good team.
If they're if they're not like the super potent double IPAs that I tend to lean towards. If they're just like 12 cans of blue or 9 cans of blue, yeah. 9 innings, I could do that, I think.
Maybe you could take 2 hot dogs and 7 beers, and I'll go, this is a one-off, 7 hot dogs and 2 beers. And together we'll have combined to succeed.
We could be a good team. I think you're right. You're onto something.
7 hot dogs, though. A former me, no problem at all. I lived next door to a hot dog place and would walk over and get the 6 for $5, and then boom.
There was a moment in time where on this show, opening day of the baseball season, I would stop. I did this maybe 2 or 3 times tops. I would stop at the hot dog place and get a box of loaded, Texas hots and bring them in here. And I'm almost sure between noon and 3, I ate 6 hot dogs.
Sure. Oh. Easily.
With all
those
the,
are
with
all
all,
skinny
with all the
and
goo on
the
them.
sauce.
Right.
Just the sauce and maybe onions.
Yeah. This,
sounds great.
6 up. Yo.
Sounds great right now.
And then we did a radio show.
Yeah, about the hot dogs.
Wow.
About your health. The show that day was about cholesterol. That was the topic.
Plowing down, I eat fruit before I come here now. 6 hot dogs and then sitting in this chair for 4 hours, I can't even fathom.
Well, those are the days.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I was going to say tomorrow is opening day in baseball, just to see if I could convince you to bring in 30 hot dogs, but I won't be here anyway. So maybe reverse AFC power rankings for the road?
I could live with that, yeah.
There's been a lot of camp news. The Bills, we thought, possibly bad camp news, turned out okay. Not that he didn't get hurt at all, but Maxwell Haristen sounds like he avoided the ACL tear that would have cost him the season. And this way, he might be able to play even by the opener. So that's cool. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. We'll be back after sports. This is WGR.
Relief today for the Buffalo Bills. Our own Sal Capaccio can confirm Bills rookie cornerback Maxwell Haristen avoided a season-ending injury. His ACL is intact, but he did suffer an LCL sprain. No confirmation as of yet on what the timeline will be for Haristen's return. For more on today, we do have a piece up at our website, WGR550.com. And while the Bills were off this morning, and they'll be back at it tomorrow morning, St. John Fisher University. And coverage of Bills training camp is brought to you by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys. By Outlet Liquor, when you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. And driven by your Upstate Honda dealers. For great deals on the entire Honda lineup, visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. We did have some early afternoon baseball to get our day started. 2 games already in the books. Blue Jays take down Baltimore 9-8, while the Bisons fell to Syracuse 8-3. Currently in action, the Mets trail the Padres 4-0 in the 7th. The Yankees will host the Rays a little after 7 o'clock. And tomorrow, it is the trade deadline in Major League Baseball. Both New York teams made deals today. The Yankees acquiring outfielder Austin Slater from the White Sox, while the Mets acquire right-handed pitcher Tyler Rogers from the San Francisco Giants. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet celebrating 90 years of being your hometown dealership. I'm Zach Jones for WGR Sports Radio 550.
Yes. This is Indulgent. It's always, kind of fun at least, if not hilarious. But I'm leaving for a bit after today. I thought, I like doing these when we're all here.
Yep.
We're all here now.
I will probably get around to them again at some point next week. I've got some co-hosts scheduled to appear here. I'll do some solo shows, but there'll be a little hearty dose of Nate Geary and Sal. So we'll find our way. There'll be 3 of us here at some point. So we'll get to it. But I'm glad to do it again before you walk away.
Well, we'll see how the Chargers look tomorrow night, because you might need to do an emergency one on Friday if it's really good or really bad. I don't know. You might find it even doable that soon. But that'll be your call. Yeah. Reverse AFC Power Rankings, powered by Empire Electric, your residential neighborhood electrician. Visit EmpireElectricians.com. Got the teams?
I sure do.
Try it sometime without the teams. 16. Doesn't matter. It's like the bare knuckle. You have to.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no.
Remember everybody. Make sure you don't forget anybody. Although bare knuckle, as easy as it sounds, there is a board, so you can look to see if somebody's been picked. But that gets hard, as you would expect, as you get late in the draft. That was really fun. I did that 3 times. Never won. I might have finished 6th out of 12 every time. I don't know. Did I not take enough chances? I was just worried about not forgetting anybody.
Right. You don't want to embarrass yourself.
28-round fantasy draft at midnight with no notes or phone or anything, and no pen and paper.
At midnight after the Thursday night season opener.
Right, at midnight Eastern.
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, and you can't write down anything. You just have to name guys.
I mean, if any other sporting event has the potential to top 9 beers in 9 innings, it's being in Vegas for the season opener on a Thursday.
Yeah. That buffet could have been better. But yes, it's a nice time.
Yeah.
Of course, when I had that draft, I was always walking around. Bills-Rams. I was the worst possible company for Bills-Rams that night, because everybody's at Planet Hollywood. Friends of mine that I know, that are local, that are not, everybody's there in a huge room with the big screen. They've got a buffet out and a bar and door prizes. And meanwhile, old Mike Schopp is walking around the room all night trying to remember the kickers. Like, I enjoy that kind of thing, but it wasn't. I wasn't, really at the party.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, Eddie Pinheiro. So that was a flashback to that Bills-Rams game, the Thursday night opener. Okay, 16.
Cleveland. They lost a starting corner to an Achilles injury. I mean, come on.
Who was it? Not Ward.
No, not Ward.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about an injury there. All right, fair. Miami lost all its corners to injuries.
They're still not going to be that bad, I don't think. I can't.
All right.
Can't get there.
Cleveland. Okay. You made a good case.
One guy got hurt.
You made a good case.
Whose name I don't know, and I'm pretty sure, though, he was a starter.
It was Frank Minifield. Out for the year. Remember those two?
Do you remember? I so badly want to be able to get his running mate, but I don't think I'm going to get it. But if I talk about how big Frank Minifield's shoulder pads were on Tecmo Super Bowl,
all right,
maybe I'll kill enough time for it to pop in to my brain. Who's that other guy? Hanford Dixon.
Correct.
I love this job.
Hanford Dixon.
Oh, I hurt myself celebrating.
Celebrating.
There was a.
We've all seen it.
There was a leg up and an arm and there was a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Oh, I'm hurt now.
I'm glad I didn't blurt it out.
Hanford Dixon. I don't even care what happens the rest of the segment. You want to talk about Marcus Welby some more?
It could happen. Could come up. I don't really have anything to say about him. It was just a random doctor that flew into my head, and I did get a tweet or two about him and how he did everything. Heart transplants, brain injuries.
Yeah.
He was like, if you had a problem, he knew how to fix it.
Yeah, he didn't specialize in any one area. He was a specialist of it all.
Doc of all trades, so to speak.
Yeah, that's it exactly. And I think a very memorable turn as someone cautioning you not to drink coffee at night.
Oh, yeah, Robert Young.
Decaffeinated.
That's right.
Some decaffeinated coffee.
That's right. Well, maybe good advice. 15.
Tennessee.
Don't care. Hanford Dixon.
You're on vacation now. Right. You better get it back by tomorrow. 14.
Okay. Jets.
I guess.
I mean, what's good there?
I know. I guess.
What is good there?
Fields is going to be my most owned quarterback in fantasy. I was glad to hear Evan Silva say he'd also be his. It's not fantasy. This is where Brandon Beane could actually have it make sense when he said, this is not fantasy football.
Right.
Nobody's really thinking of your wide receiver issues as whether they're fantasy football or not. We're not trying to draft somebody. We want you to draft somebody. 13. Dolphins.
Wow. All right, I'm there. They could be like a. You ever seen like in the news, like with an oil rig out in the Gulf of Mexico catches on fire and they just don't know what to do. It's got to let it burn out. That could be the Dolphins. They could be a burning oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico this year.
The Gulf of America.
I'm going to still call it by its appropriate name.
By its actual name?
By its actual name. Yeah, I know. I'm a rebel.
You hate America.
Yes. It's never been more obvious.
12. I don't disagree, by the way. 1 Tua injury, then what?
Right. What number are we on?
12.
Did I haven't said the Raiders yet?
No. Want to?
I think I do.
I do too.
Yeah.
11.
Colts.
Okay.
It is good to see that since we last did this, or maybe we did. Well, we just did this on Friday, right?
8 days ago.
Okay.
Tuesday. Of last week.
Okay. I think it's sounding. But you mentioned this. I think if not on the air, certainly off the air to me. Like it's reading more like they're ready to give Richardson an opportunity there. And that's good for the overall there. I don't know if it's going to work, but they should at least try that before they completely give up and hand their franchise over to Daniel freaking Jones.
Well, I think I'm excited about that. I want to see Richardson work out if it's possible to root for that. It's possible to root for it if it's realistic. But think of how they got there. So they signed Daniel Jones because they're nowhere on Richardson. They don't know what to do. Then they get near training camp, and he's got a shoulder injury recurrence, and he might not be ready. Then Richardson's like, actually, I'm fine. what is this? Like, I'm actually fine. I'll be there. We get to camp, and he is, and then the Colts get to see Daniel Jones on the field, and they're like, nope. And so now the hype is all Richardson, like he might be good. And he's all talking about how he only wants to throw the ball short in practice because he's trying to prove that he can get better at that and do that, even though his deep ball is unbelievable. I guess check the box, like just let's work on the other stuff. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I think they're back on Richardson because Jones is that bad.
Yeah. It's like they signed Jones, sort of like how Gettleman walked into the Senior Bowl and saw him and went like, there's my quarterback. Like they reverted to that. They ignored everything he had done since he's been in the NFL. And like, I mean, he's 6'4" and he can run. That's our guy.
We need somebody.
And they watched him practice and went, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, he was never better than Richardson in practices. We had the guy, Kevin Bowen from Indianapolis, talking about like, it's not pretty. 10.
I'm having so much fun in here that I don't even know who we've said and haven't
See,
said
bare
it.
knuckle, the clock's ticking.
New England hasn't been said yet, have they?
No.
Okay.
I'll say Pittsburgh.
They got to come in here at some point.
I'll go New England here.
Okay. Pittsburgh's not a good pick there. It looks like it's kind of stabilized. 9.
Yeah, they might be annoyingly good.
Like always. Just good enough.
Right.
To be annoying.
Except now with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
That won't be more annoying, I'm sure. 9, Pittsburgh. You also have Jacksonville if you want them.
I'm gonna say Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I'll revert to my, sort of bullish behavior about Liam Cohen and the Jaguars, although they're probably next.
8.
Jaguars.
Houston.
I heard a speech on Houston that made me think I'm a little too low, or high in this case. Evan was like best defense in the NFL.
Oof. I mean, the edge guys are good.
Stingley's
they got
amazing.
A great corner.
Their offensive line terrifies me in the worst way. That is not a good unit, and it got worse.
The Mixon injury sounds bad. The way that's all added up, I think it's right to be pessimistic about him for the season, for the opener. I think it sounds bad. So we're on Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. And Dameon Pierce, who's not practicing either. They'd be, if you had a running back getting traded, Houston would be a team you might expect to make the move. But they traded a 4th next year to get to Woody Marks. Like they've already spent a 4th-round pick on a guy that is in their backfield. And I don't know, most of my fantasy friends don't like this player at all. He's a pass catcher for a running back. You're waiting for me to pick. I'll say Jacksonville. I think Houston has earned a little better. 7. Aaron Schatz was interesting about the Chargers. I'll go with him. On the day of his appearance, I'll go with the Chargers at 7. That's where they were last week.
I think I want to say Houston.
All right. Obviously, you don't watch the playoffs.
No, I don't watch football.
Nobody saw Houston crush the Chargers in the playoffs with that same defense.
Because it's July still. That's why I don't watch football.
6.
What about the UFL? Sorry.
What about the UFL? What's happened with that thing?
I don't even know. Is it still?
I don't even know. I don't know a single thing about it.
Did they have their UFL bowl yet? Did they
play it all?
I don't.
That's Russ. Russ runs the UFL. Did they play it all?
I
don't know.
I imagine they did, but
maybe they did.
Maybe
but there was
didn't.
a contract thing. There was a labor issue with the UFL before it started. Maybe they didn't play. I don't even know.
Fans don't even pay attention to labor issues in the NFL,
let alone the UFL.
Russ who, by the way?
Russ Brandon.
Russ Brandon. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we know a lot of people that are in with the UFL.
Yeah.
I have forgotten some of the names, but yeah. 6, Chargers.
Sure. Fine. Yep.
5, Bengals.
Yes.
Sure.
Hendrickson reported.
But I think that might be just a hold-in. I mean, he was in street clothes today standing on the field. He was at his locker after practice talking. But I don't know if he said he's going to suit up tomorrow or something.
A guy like that could win one-on-ones in street clothes.
I think he just showed up and is just like, he's doing what McLaurin is doing, basically. Like, all right, I'm here. I'm tired of getting fined $50,000 a day for this nonsense. I'll come and stand here in a black T-shirt and look tough.
That doesn't seem like that should be allowed.
To get away with not paying the fine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by being on the field in jeans? I mean, why is that different?
I think, well...
Is he in meetings?
I don't know that it... I would expect yes. I think the hold-in is just, I'm not putting myself at risk of injury.
Okay.
And what I think it does, it's a way around guys pretending their hamstrings are tight.
McLaurin is listed.
Yeah, McLaurin is the opposite of that.
Elbow or something. They're pretending he has.
Well, like if Trey Hendrickson has passed his physical and is there on time, but doesn't want to work because of the contract, he's like, I don't know, this thing is, my leg, I slept funny. It's just like day over day of that. So I think you just like, all right, hold in, got it. You're here, fine.
It's weird.
Anyway, Bengals.
4.
Denver. Broncos got to be, right?
They're on their own tier, it seems. Unless they should be higher, with the Chargers or the Bengals. But they're not top 3 material. Not yet.
No.
3.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. 2. Baltimore.
I was going to say Ravens today.
Isaiah Likely.
I really, really was.
And maybe Zay Flowers.
Right.
And Hairston's good.
Right.
I mean,
there it is.
Pretty
everyone.
good. Bills. Because of Isaiah Likely, the Ravens move up from 1 to 2, and the Bills take the 1 spot back. Little things. It's the little things.
Someone should let their families know. They're going to be so proud.
Bills? Oh, I mean, they would be listening. Don't you think? It's riveting content.
Always.
Today is National Cheesecake Day.
Great.
If you're looking for something to eat later.
Good.
9999 challenge. 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 pieces of cheesecake, and 9 innings. Try that. The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow night. The Lions are favored by 1.5 points, and the total is 32.5 against the Chargers in Canton. Brent Musburger will be on the broadcast. He's this year's media honoree at the Hall of Fame. What took him so long?
Good question.
He could have been honored 20 years ago.
Being so prominent in Las Vegas.
Maybe.
I'm not half kidding.
The league has a team there, but maybe.
No, I know.
For a long time before that.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So he'll be on the broadcast with Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark tomorrow night, and so too will all the players: Eric Allen, Jared Allen, guy Shannon Sharp. There's one more. Guys are going in. They're supposed to be. They always do that. They stop by for a few minutes on the Hall of Fame game. That's tomorrow. Today we talked to Aaron Schatz about his almanac, which is back out and available. So we'll have that conversation for you next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.